Once again, live from Eddie Robinson Memorial Stadium here in Grambling. It's 7-7 here, 9:39 to go first quarter. Grambling State on the field on offense, 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line, going left to right. Miles Crawley is the quarterback. Chance Williams at running back. The Wildcats did a good job on defense on their first drive. Play action, screen far side, caught 40, making a man miss 50. 45-40 near side, and pushed out of bounds all the way at the BCU 25-yard line is Javon Robinson.
Great play by Grambling. It looked like the Wildcats had that play like skillfully defended, except missed tackles. Again, missed tackles. Our Achilles heel right now.
We apologize for the slight technical issues we are seeing. Grambling goes fast. Chance Williams left side, gets a hole, 15-10, dragging defenders to the 5 and falls down. 1st and goal, 3-yard line for Grambling State. This offense just is electric when it gets going.
Man, and when it comes to these type of offenses, you have to be able to tackle. You have to be able to wrap up and then drive through.
1st and goal, Grambling goes super fast. Williams left side, buried. Nowhere to go for Williams that time. Good gap assignment played by, I believe that's Eddie Walls who made the tackle, but 2nd and goal.
Hopefully this gives the Wildcats a chance to kind of regroup for a quick second to be able to defend this end zone.
They went from their own 40 to the BCU 3 in 2 plays.
Really, we almost had them down inside their 10, but we missed tackles again down there, which was going to be basically what's going on this drive.
2nd and goal from the 3.
Like they're still getting the play call coming in.
Crawley takes the snap, hands off. Williams right side, breaks through, pushes forward, touchdown, Grambling.
Right now, it seemed like on this particular drive that the Grambling State offensive line was a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more physical than our defensive line. We need to go back to that first drive and find that oomph that we had coming into the game to be able to combat what they're doing, because they are once again resetting the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be the name of the game this week.
Well, the Wildcats had the lead for a few seconds, it feels like, and now it's 14-7 Grambling. 13 pending the extra point here is Tanner Rinker. He puts that one up, and good. 8:20 to go first quarter. It's been a wild and crazy first quarter here in Grambling, Louisiana. 14, the Tigers of Grambling, 7, the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. We'll take a timeout and be right back. This is BCU Athletics on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. Welcome back to Grambling, Louisiana. It's the Wildcats 7, the Grambling State Tigers 14. After a Grambling State drive that took 4 plays, 57 yards, ending with a Chance Williams 3-yard touchdown run. And the Wildcats, it seems like this has been the theory of the season is we can't keep the ball on offense long enough for the defense to get into a rhythm.
And when that happens, you put your defense in a bad position. And when they're out on the field too long, your defense gets tired, and then what happens? You have more scores and more things that you don't want to have happen.
Rinker kicks off for Grambling State left to right. Ball in the middle of the field, arcing towards the far side, taken by Darnell Dees at the 5. Running straight ahead, 10, 15, falls forward to the 22.
Great.
And there's a bit of afters, and that's going to be a half to distance to the goal penalty against Bethune-Cookman as there was some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
You have to be able to play disciplined ball and make sure that whatever you're doing, it is between the whistles, and you can't let another team or another player get into your head to make you do something that will put your team into a bad position.
That was Steven Sparrow with the penalty, and Steven's been big for us on defense.
He has. He wasn't he the one? He came up with that big interception
against Alabama State.
Alabama State, yes. Great player.
That'll back the Wildcats up to the 11-yard line, 1st and 10, and another flag. Oh no, sorry, they were returning the flag to the official. I thought they were throwing the flag again. My apologies. 8:14 to go, 1st and 10. Bethea in the gun along with Jaden Bivens. Receivers 2x2, ball right hash, 4-down lineman for Grambling State. One man in motion. It's going to be a jet sweep. Cutting left side. Omari Stort tackled at the 11, no gain.
Great play. We haven't seen a lot of jet sweeps this season, so it's good to see that we're trying to go into our bag and make a few things happen. We have to make sure that we keep our blocks engaged so our runner can get
Wildcats
around the corner.
go quickly. Bivens gobbled up and dropped. Loss of 1 back to the 10, 3rd and 11. And this is how it's been pretty much. The offensive line can't really get anything going in the run game.
We have to be able to establish this run because if you don't establish the run and don't have a passing game to go with it, then you turn into a one-dimensional team. And then next thing you know, they're stacking 8 guys in the box, and you won't be able to do anything.
3rd down and 11. 3 receivers. Bethea takes the snap, sacked, back at the 1-yard line. He was immediately under pressure. It was the nose tackle, I believe, that got through over the center.
Bethea actually ended up, when he was going to plant to gather himself to throw the ball, ended up slipping. His left foot slipped from under him. So he just, thank God he wasn't in the end zone.
Yep.
But it puts us in a terrible situation as far as we're punting from where? The 3-yard line?
Back of the end zone.
And, okay.
The sack was made by Seymour Roberts, and now Anthony Frederick will stand with his heels on the back of the end zone. And the returner, Johnson, is right on the 50-yard line. Frederic gets the punt away barely. There's going to be a flag on the play. It's fielded at the BCU 45 left side. Johnson wrestled down at the 33-yard line of Bethune-Cookman. Now, is this flag running into the kicker or roughing the kicker? I think it's running into.
It looks like it was running into him. He didn't take a really big hit, but let's see if it's enough to give us a 1st down and give us the ball back.
If it's just running into it, won't be. It'll just be giving us a little more space to punt again, but we'll see.
We had great coverage down the field. We were able to make an open field tackle, which is what you need, especially during punt and running down on punt team. If you miss tackles, those will become eventually big gains that you do not want, putting your defense again in the bad position.
All right, so Coach Woody was talking to the officials, and it looks like they declined whatever penalty it was. So if it was running into the kicker and it was declined, the Grambling with the ball at the BCU 33. Let's see. Here's the call.
Running into the kicker, kicking team, number 26. That penalty is declined. 1st down, Grambling.
So they'll give Grambling the ball at the 33-yard line instead of electing to punt again. That's an interesting decision there by Coach Woody.
That's a very interesting decision. maybe Coach Woody sees something that we don't from up here.
Maybe, but I guess 5 yards isn't that much when you're still punting out of the back of the end zone.
That's true, and you may not want to risk a big return when you had a successful stop on the original punt.
Johnson's pretty much only had big returns for Grambling so far today. They've been pretty good field position. This is the best of the lot. They'll set him up exactly at the 34. Back out on offense, Miles Crawley and the rest of the Grambling State offense leading 14-7, 6:25 to go first quarter in Bethune-Cookman territory at the 34-yard line. 3 receivers bunched to the right, single receiver to the left. That's the near side. 4 down linemen for Bethune-Cookman. 1 man in motion. Here's the snap, handoff middle. Flag flies in the backfield. The running back is tripped up at the 29-yard line. It would be a 4 or 5 yard rush, but we'll check the flag.
Let's talk about let's hear the call from the referee first.
Illegal motion, offense.
So it was an illegal motion pre-snap penalty.
Player was moving towards the line of scrimmage at the snap.
That was the tight end, I believe, Joshua Quiet, that was moving. He was the one dancing back and forth in the backfield.
No. That was they put one of their offensive linemen, Melvin Priestley, in motion. And when you have a guy like that in motion, you almost know it's a run.
Well, he was moving towards the line at the snap, so they'll push him back 5 yards. First and 15, at the 39-yard line. Crawley takes the snap, hands off Chalk, tries to bounce it left. Arm tackle by Iverson Clement gets him just about 2 yards to the 37.
Swarmed by a host of Wildcats. Good defense. Good. It's good to see that they made that open field tackle and made sure that he did not pick up any extra yards on that
Clement, the graduate student from Mount Holly, New Jersey, played at both UF and Temple before transferring to Bethune-Cookman. Made the stop. 2nd down and 13 for Grambling from the BCU 37.
Empty backfield.
5 wide for Crawley. This is where he is at his best. 3-man rush. Crawley going to throw deep. Left-hand side. He overthrows his receiver. Good coverage down the field by Shelton Quarles Jr.
It looked like he and the receiver were not on the same page. It looked like the receiver cut off his route, and Crawley overthrew him. But once again, if you're going to overthrow a receiver, you want that pass to be incomplete. And it looks like we have an injured player on the field.
We do have an injured offensive lineman for Grambling State, and Shelton Quarles, I mentioned in the pregame show, 3rd on the team in tackles with 34. 3 passes defended as well. Broke up a couple of potential touchdown passes this season, one against Texas Southern and one against Jackson State. So he's very active as a guy in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you want those type of people who are able to play the run and drop into coverage and kind of be that hybrid person that you need to be able to do both, right? I need somebody to come in and make a big play at the line. I have him. I need somebody to be able to drop into coverage, maybe cover tight end. I have him.
And we've had some big guys transition between linebacker and defensive line, specifically Amari Jones, who started as a linebacker or a nickel, and Laquan Johnson Jr. started at defensive end and is now playing linebacker.
Yeah, when you're playing that nickel position, you have to have the toughness of a linebacker as well as the feet of a DB to be able to basically be your hybrid guy all over the field to do what is necessary when you're in that position.
So you spoke about Melvin Priestley, the man who got the penalty. He's the man that was injured, and he limps to the sideline. Did move off under his own power.
That's good.
It'll be 3rd and 13 for Grambling State from the Bethune-Cookman 37. Yep, 37. Floyd Chalk is in there at running back, so they don't go back to the 5 wide set. Tight end left, 1 receiver left, 2 receivers to the far side right. Wildcats with 4 down linemen. Cats show blitz. Here's the snap to Crawley. They do bring the house. Crawley looks, pressure from the backside, moves to his left, throws deep down the field. It's incomplete. He overthrew it. 4th down.
Great pressure by Darius Thomas. He's the one who laid the big hit on him as he was releasing the ball. I don't see any flags on the field, which means the play stands. It was a clean hit, and the Wildcats are sending out their punt return team to hopefully soon take over on offense.
And if you rush 8 like the Wildcats did just then, you got to give props to the secondary. They held on for a long time. Nobody was open. Eventually just threw it away.
Typically, the longer the play extends, the better a chance that a receiver will come open for the pass to be completed.
Jimmy Isles punting from his own 50-yard line, spirals this with a lot of backspin. It's going to bounce at the 10 and down to the 5. That's what we downed. And Bethune-Cookman will once again start deep in their own territory when we come back to Louisiana. 5:08 to go in the first quarter. It's Grambling State 14, Bethune-Cookman 7, Wildcats ball. When we come back, this is BCU Athletics on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. Bethune-Cookman Football continues Southwestern Athletic Conference play this Thursday, November 2nd, for a matchup with Mississippi Valley State. The game will be broadcast live on ESPN. You can't watch. You can listen to all the action live at youtube.com/CatEye Network to us here in the booth, or listen locally in Daytona Beach at 1380 WELE. The Wildcats backed up all the way back to their own 5-yard line after the punt by Jimmy Isles after a 3-and-out from Grambling State. Bethea on the goal line. Takes the snap, handoff Bivens, bounces it outside, trying to get away. He spun down for no gain. He almost had it, but Jacoby Scott got him from behind.
The Wildcats have had several different plays where they were one man away from breaking it, and just like that, Bivens was one man, couldn't get to the outside, and the defensive player made a great open field tackle.
2nd down and 10. They move the field to the near side, ball to the near side. Bethea takes the snap, short over the middle, incomplete. They went for the slant, and it was off the hands of Davino Ellington, 3rd and 10.
Ooh, that was a great play call. Davino came across the middle and was wide open. The ball hit him square in the hands and bounced off, and now we're 3rd and 10.
Well, that was the play we were talking about last night, the slot slant that we've thrown a couple of interceptions on this year, but that one was on the money. Ellington's got to haul that in. 3rd and 10 from the 5. Wildcats trying to avoid punting from their own end zone for the 2nd straight time.
You really want to
4:35 to go in the first quarter. Bethea takes the snap, pressure off the edge, floats it near side, incomplete, way over, threw it out of bounds. Looking for Davino Ellington again.
Wildcats looks like punting out of their end zone
for the second straight time. And this has been the story all season. It's just when you're averaging barely over 100 yards per game, it's tough, right?
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you talk about, especially in the game of football, you talk about overcoming adversity, right? So a few bad things happen, and then all of a sudden the whole chemistry, the whole morale of the team gets down. You can't have that. You got to be able to know that regardless of what happens, that you're still in this fight. And right now it just seems like the wind is out of the sails of the Wildcats at this moment.
Frederick gets the punt away from his own end zone. This is a great punt. Sends back
Great
Johnson
punt.
all the way
It's
to his own 30-yard
35.
line. He's got space running left, picks up a block 35, 40, another block 45 midfield, driven out of bounds at the BCU 48-yard line. So putting them back about 20 yards from where they were previously.
Great punt. Way for Frederick to get them out of a sticky situation. Still, I think we're having trouble with our coverage, and always, he's able to turn that corner. We have to be able to set that edge and make him come back inside to where your help is coming from.
Bethune-Cookman Volleyball returns to Moore Gymnasium tomorrow, October 29th, for a cluster of SWAC games. Come out and support your Wildcats at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Sunday, with the third game on Monday, October 30th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Can't make it to Moore? Catch everything live on the CatEye Network. I'll be there bright and early tomorrow morning.
So will I.
First and 10 for Grambling State from the BCU 49-yard line, going left to right. Here's the snap. It's going to be a throw over the middle at a slant, incomplete off the hands of the receiver. Nice job in the middle. I think that was Quarles again on coverage.
Yes. Great play. He was in the receiver's hip pocket, and when that ball was thrown, he was able to have that pass break up. That's what you want.
That slant was going to Lyndon Rash, who had the big reception on the first Grambling touchdown drive. 3 receivers right, single left. On 2nd and 10 for Grambling State. Crawley takes the snap. Here comes the pressure. It's a quick screen left side to Williams. He's got blockers in front of him. 40, 45, 30. Still on his feet. Breaks a missed tackle. 20. Dragged down inside the 15-yard line. That was just a quick pop screen to Chance Williams, and he just took off.
And it looks like the Grambling State Tigers are going tempo. They're already lined up, ready to go for the next play.
1st and 10 from the 13-yard line of Bethune-Cookman. Qualley takes the snap. Handoff left side. Williams cuts it back. Gets to the 11. Gain of 1.
It looks like we have an equipment situation. We have a Wildcat going off the field.
Eddie Walls, his helmet came off, so Conroy Cunningham, had that big game against Southern last week, comes in to replace him. Basically up to down on this defensive front. You got playmakers.
You have playmakers, and they are putting themselves in a position to make plays. However, you don't want to see them put into this position where you're missing tackles and now you're in the shadow of the end zone.
2nd and 9 from the 11. It's going to be another handoff to Williams. Delayed run up the middle. Falls forward to the 8-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. They can get a 1st down inside the 2. There's a car crash right in the middle there. A couple of players taking some time to get up, including the running back Floyd Chalk, who comes out.
Yeah, you want to see those big pile-ups when you're close to the end zone to make sure that there's nothing and no one that can get through. That's when you want the big bodies in there just to create a massive pile of people.
Dejon Richard comes in. The running back will play the fullback spot. Crawley is still in there at quarterback with Williams at running back. It is 3rd down and 6 from the 8. Crawley takes the snap, pitches it left, whistle and a stoppage of play. Timeout, Grambling. Interesting, they kind of iced their own offense with the timeout.
Well, it's probably good that they did that because the play looked well defended by the Wildcats as Conroy Cunningham actually blasted through one of the offensive linemen to be there in position, but the play was blown dead before anyone could record a tackle.
2 minutes and 25 seconds. This first quarter seems like it's going on forever. 14-7 Grambling State. They are in a position to increase their lead with 3rd down and 6 at the BCU 8-yard line, and they've got it done via the run, which is not really this offense's MO. It's been Crawley passing the ball mostly is how they've got their offense to work this year. Yeah,
I mean, the Grambling State offensive line has been super aggressive, and so if your offensive line is going to come out like that, then why not run the ball? Let's see who, like in the trenches, right? Let's see who's biggest and baddest. And right now, Grambling State is really, really showing that they want it.
This Grambling State team has allowed the fewest sacks in the conference, just 5 all season.
No, that's some big boys down there now.
Names like Melvin Priestley, Cody Hornsby, and Jawan Singletary starting on that offensive line for Grambling State. Here we go, 3rd and 6 from the BCU 8-yard line. Grambling State looking to increase a 14-7 lead. Crawley with Williams on his right hip. 2 receivers each side. Takes the snap, middle of the field, looks to throw. Throws the screen out to the left side, and the ball is dropped incomplete. It was in and out of the hands of Chance Williams as he was lit up on the sidelines.
Great play. It looked like, who was that, Clement?
It was Iverson Clement.
Man, great play being in position. That's what we're talking about, assignment football. Clement had his eyes on his man, watching the quarterback where he's throwing, and just came up and made a great play and broke up that pass and puts the Wildcats still in the fourth down. Well, the Tigers are in fourth down, about to kick a field goal.
So Tanner Rinker will attempt a 25-yard field goal to the right side. Already 2 extra points in the day for the freshman from Castle Rock, Colorado. The kick is
no good.
No good. He missed it left. So maybe the Wildcats got a finger on it. If that's right in the area of uncertainty, where there's like a big pole in the way, so we can't really see what's going on down there. But he did. He spiraled that way left.
Just so the people at home know, I'm looking.
Oh no, it was a dropped snap. I'm seeing it in the monitor right now. The holder dropped the snap and didn't really get it back up in time, so he kicked the ball as it was laying on the ground.
Hey, a miss is a miss right now. I'll tell the people right now what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the uprights, and then I'm seeing a glare mirror image of the uprights right in front of it, because I'm looking through 2 panes of glass, and so 3 panes of glass, and so the glare is ridiculous, people. So, but a miss is a miss right now, and the Wildcats are in position right now to be able to put some points on the board in these 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the first quarter.
That was only the 3rd miss of the season for Tanner Rinker, 7 of 9 previously. But again, that's a bad snap.
That'll do it.
BCU on the field at their own 20-yard line. Bethea with Bivens in the backfield takes the snap. He's going to throw it. It is almost intercepted through a screen left side, and it was broken up by Cedric Anderson.
The Wildcats sent Bivens in motion to the backside and then acted like they were going to toss the little wheel route, came back to the other side for the screen, and it was well defended by the Grambling State Tigers.
2nd and 10 from the 20. I applaud the Wildcats for trying different things offensively and trying to throw off this GSU defense. 2nd and 10. Here's the snap. It is Juvensley Bazul. His first carry since the Jackson State game gets 2 yards off the right-hand side.
There we go. We're starting to try to make some moves on the offensive line and make some moves in our running game to establish that right now. I'm surprised about that last pass play, but I'm happy to see it. And I hope we get to see more of that as this game progresses to be able to open up the field.
But it's another 3rd and long for Bethune-Cookman. 3rd down and 8 from the 22. Got to get to the 30. 3 receivers left, single right. This is a chance for the Grambling State defense to pin their ears back once again. They will rush 5. It's going to be a
we got a flag.
It's going to be a false start.
False start on offense.
Now 3rd and 13.
This is where being disciplined in these times comes in. You have to make sure that you know the snap count. You have to make sure that regardless of what the defense is doing in front of you, whether they run up to the line at the last minute to show blitz or back off, that you do not move. You are a statue until that ball is snapped.
3rd and 13 back at the 19-yard line. No, correction, the 17-yard line for Bethune-Cookman. Got to get all the way to the 30. For a first down. 5 wide receivers in the formation.
If they snap the ball now, Grambling has 2 people walking off the field.
3 left, single right. They don't snap the ball. Only 1 linebacker in the middle of the field for Grambling State. Here's the snap. Pressure coming. Bethea scrambles, steps up in the pocket, and sacked. All the way back at the 12. And this front line for Grambling State that is so ferocious. Javon Carter with his 4th sack of the season, the junior from Lemonville, Louisiana.
Great play by Grambling. We saw Bethea try to step up into the pocket to extend the play, but they got to him just right before he was about to get the ball out of his hand.
And for the 3rd straight time, Anthony Frederic could have punt out of the back of his own end zone.
If anybody who knows football, they know that you do not want to be in this position for 3 straight series. Because if you are, that means what? You know you haven't been moving the ball.
We can't move the ball.
You can't move the ball.
So what has to change?
I don't think we've been past the 50 for this game at this point.
Except
the touchdown.
Except the touchdown, yeah. We haven't been past our own 45, I don't think, except the touchdown. Frederic takes the snap, gets the punt away. It's low. It's going to bounce at midfield, take a BCU bounce to the 42-yard line. But this is the first time in the last couple of drives that Grambling will start on their own side of the field,
Exactly.
be it at their own 41.
Now let's just say this. With that being said, Grambling has started on their own side of the field for the past 3 or 4 series, and the score is still only 14-7.
This is what I'm talking about. The defense for Bethune-Cookman has kept us in games all season long. The offense has not reciprocated in kind so far yet today.
And this is where it can hurt your defense. Why? Because of all the snaps they're taking, they'll get fatigued. They could get fatigued toward the end of the game when they are really needed. But right now, we're happy to see that Grambling is starting from their own side of the field versus our side of the field at having the short field.
They mark the ball at the 39-yard line. 21 seconds left to go first quarter. Snap to Crawley. Handoff Williams trying to run left, and he's going to get a big hole. 50, 55, 40. He could be gone. 30, left side 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Grambling. One play, 61 yards. Woo. It's just that delayed draw again.
Delayed draw. Waited for the offensive line to engage, and the hole opened up. And it was really more like a trap because he went in front of the quarterback and just kind of waited and picked his way through. And then next thing you know, when he saw that opening, he turned on the afterburners and took it to the house.
I didn't even have time to flip over my roster sheet.
Neither did I.
Scored so fast. The sophomore from Baton Rouge scores one play, 61 yards. That's his 5th touchdown of the season. He is close to breaking over 600 yards rushing this season. His Chance Williams. The extra point is up and good, and with 10 seconds to go in the first quarter, we are still in the first quarter. It is 21-7 Grambling State.
10 seconds left. But this is where you find out where your heart is, and you find out what you're made of. And this is a great time for Bethune-Cookman to answer not only just with a good return, but being able to put a consistent series to allow them to be able to score, to keep them in this game. Mind you, we are still with 10 seconds left, we are still in the first quarter, and the second quarter is coming up. We haven't even made it anywhere near halftime. So the Wildcats are not out of this game, and there's still a lot of football to be able to be played here to really show like what Wildcat football is about. Right now, I think we are just kind of underachieving, and I'm looking to see who's going to step up and be the leader on this team and say, we're not just going to let anybody run over us.
The nation's largest HBCU football game is back on November 18th. Come catch your Wildcats as they take on rival Florida A&M in the 43rd annual Florida Blue Florida Classic at Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. You never want to miss a classic, do you, Tony?
Listen, I can probably count on one hand how many classic games I've missed in my life. And I don't miss too many of them. It has to be for something like either an emergency or a very important event for me to miss a Florida Classic.
Rinker getting ready to kick off left to right. 21-7 Grambling State. It's going to be a squib kick. It's bounced off of a up man. It's Bivens. Takes it to the 25-yard line. Stays on his feet now. His knee touches at the 22. And 5 seconds left in the first quarter.
Well, that was typically with 10 seconds left, they squib kick it to get more time off the clock. That way you don't have someone with a big return, and then you go into the second quarter after a big return and a team being in scoring position. So they really were trying to get us into the second quarter, but now we only have 5 seconds left still in the first quarter here.
We have seen teams this year, the Wildcats and opponents, struggle on those kicks. Kick that bounce around. All right, 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ball at the 21-yard line. Bethea takes the snap. He's going to keep it. No, excuse me. This is Walter Simmons running right side, gets to the sideline, out of bounds at the 28, and that'll be the end, finally, of the first quarter. A first quarter that took exactly 1 hour. We could be in for a long one here today, Johnny.
It's a good thing that I think we're on a chartered flight back home, because if not, we might have to be flying standby back to Daytona.
That's the end of the first quarter. Grambling State with 21-7 lead over Bethune-Cookman. We'll be back after the break for the second quarter. This is BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. Welcome back to Eddie Robinson Memorial Stadium here in Grambling, Louisiana. We begin the second quarter with the Grambling State Tigers ahead of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 21-7. And Daryl Natil, who's usually in the broadcast booth with me, it made the travel as a fan this week, and he texted us before the game and said the field is very slick. There are no rubber pellets in it. That's maybe why we're seeing some of the Wildcats slip down while they try to go for cuts.
Yeah, typically when you're dealing with turf fields, they sprinkle these rubber pellets all throughout the field to, one, soften the blow when you fall and hit the ground, and also for purposes of grip. So if you remove that particular element out of the turf, well, you might need a longer spike or a longer cleat to be able to have more traction in the ground to be able to keep you from slipping. It was what we have seen from our quarterback and our running backs in this first quarter of play.
Trying to get you some first quarter stats. Wildcats down to 2.7 yards per play in the first quarter. 42 yards rushing, 15 yards passing. 91 yards rushing, 77 yards passing for Grambling State. But we will have Walter Simmons in at quarterback. Oh, this is Tyleek Bethea back in at quarterback. They've
you never know.
Befuddled us again. Bethea in at quarterback. 2nd down and 8 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 27-yard line. Going left to right here in quarter number 2. Gold helmets, gold jerseys, white pants for the Wildcats. Bethea takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Jimmy Robinson up the middle, trying to push forward. Gets to the 31 and stops right there. So it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Great push by the offensive line to get Jimmy some positive yards there. And it looks like the Wildcats are going tempo. They're back on the ball.
3rd and 5 from the 31. Bethea takes the snap. 4-man rush. Steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. Well, they call it a no gain on the play, but it's, again, 3rd down. 4-man pressure from Grambling State gets past the offensive line pretty much instantly.
I think Bethea took a little bit too long of stepping up in the pocket. Like, when you start to see the defensive line close around you to the back, you want to step in and not let anybody, come in and block that lane for you to be able to release the ball. I think he was just a little bit late stepping up to be able to find his receiver downfield.
The live stats are currently down, so excuse me if I don't refer to the stats very much until they come back up. But Anthony Frederick going to punt again. This time not out of the back of his own end zone, but he's at his own 20. He does get the punt away. High arcing punt.
Looks like at the
taken
25.
by Guidry. He's going to be dragged down at the 24-yard line. Finally, a good tackle on special teams from Bethune-Cookman.
Assignment football isn't just on the offensive and defensive side. It is also on special teams, because we know that games are won and lost off of special teams, especially if you continue to have big returns where it is able to put your team in great field position.
That was the offensive lineman, Christian Loving, that made the tackle on special teams all the way down the field. So Grambling State in their deepest starting field position of the game. Remember, their last drive was just one play, a 61-yard touchdown run for Chance Williams. But they start now on their own 24-yard line in the black helmets, black jerseys, gold pants, gold numbers, red trim.
Wouldn't be surprised if they run the ball right here.
Miles Crawley takes the snap, handoff, running right side. That's Chalk, bounces off a tackler, but Jefferson LaFontaine is right there to make the stop, gain of only 3.
That's a great stop, because he was able to bounce it outside. What happened? Our defensive end got sucked in, and he was able to bounce it outside, but we were not caught in a stunt, but we were doing a stunt, which put our defensive tackle outside to be able to make the play, which was for
4 yards.
4 yards.
2nd down and 6 from the 28. 3 receivers bunch to the right. Crawley takes the snap, pressure. He gets the pass away. It is caught up near the 40-yard line. Coming back to it was Nigel Lanier, the redshirt sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama, and a transfer in from Tennessee.
Great defensive stop by Clement. He just got there just a half a second too late to be able to try to knock that ball out the receiver's hands.
1st and 10 for Grambling State from their own 37 after the 10-yard pickup. Crawley puts it in the belly of the receiver, right through the middle, chalk into the secondary 50, tripped up at the BCU 47, 20-yard gain, first down.
3. That's the number, 3. 3 missed tackles in that one run play. Oh, looks like,
And we got a Wildcat down behind the play. That's Jefferson LaFontaine, the defensive lineman who made the tackle on first down. And we've got Trainer to come out to look at him, and we will take a timeout. Grambling State driving. They've just crossed into Bethune-Cookman territory. 12-17 to go first half. 21-7 Tigers over Wildcats. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University Football on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WBLE. Welcome back to the broadcast booth at Grambling State University's Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium. Michael Trevino, Johnny Vickers here with you. Jefferson LaFontaine, the injured Wildcat, walked off under his own power, so that's good to see. At halftime, Dan Ryan talks about the great Walter Payton and what happened to the 1973 BCU football team. We'll also hear from Vice President Anthony Jones about Florida Classic Administration Sessions November 18th and how you can win free tickets to the Classic. That's coming up at the half here on WELE. First and 10 Grambling State on the Wildcat side of the field at the 47-yard line, going right to left here in this second quarter. Just starting the second quarter, a 21-7 lead for Grambling. Miles Crawley in the backfield. One man in motion right to left. That's the tight end. Crawley takes the snap, puts it in the belly of the running back. Chalk running right, gets a big hole on the right side. Finally tripped up at the 34-yard line.
The majority of their runs are being able to get to the outside. They're able to set the edge. And if you saw what I saw, folks, there was a line, a wall of blockers running with chalk down that sideline. And Grambling, the Grambling State Tigers right now are kind of having their way. Their front five is having their way with our front four at this moment.
First and 10 Grambling State. They've pretty much gotten the first down every snap on this drive. They're at the BCU 36. Crawley with one man in motion. Takes the snap, hands off Chalk again. It's going to be a reverse, and almost making the tackle in the backfield is Laquan Johnson, but he's scampering away. 30, 25, down to the 21. Reverse to the wide receiver, Nashawn Dickerson.
Adrian Hall almost had a big tackle for loss in the backfield reading that reverse. You know, the rule of thumb is when you see flow go away, you always want to stay home for anything that might come back. And he was there, but once again, another missed tackle by the Wildcats.
Correction, that was Javon Robinson on the carry on the reverse for Grambling State. They got the ball at the BCU 22-yard line. Another one play and a first down here for Grambling on this drive. And it's been all runs pretty much.
The Wildcats need a takeaway.
It's going to be another run. Chalk cuts it up. Ball comes out. Fumble. Bethune-Cookman has it. 30, 25, 20. Going back the other way midfield. Right side of the middle.
Hill.
Omari Hill Robinson. Can he go all the way? Yes, he can.
Touchdown.
Touchdown Bethune-Cookman. Touchdown Maroon and Gold. The Wildcats have 2 touchdowns on 2 fumble recoveries in the ball game. What?
BCU later, Omari Hill Robinson said. Man, way to be in the right place at the right time. I'm talking about that's 2 times today. But let's hope that we don't have to score all of our points on.
They might review this. His knee might have been down. We'll see. I'm trying to look at the monitor. That was a great punch out by Malik Stinnett.
I don't think he was down. I think this might stand. If they go back and review, we have the PAT team out on the field. Looks like it stands.
Backside linebacker Malik Stinnett, the freshman from Las Vegas, punched that ball out. That was incredible. Cade Hector's extra point is good.
It's good.
And with 10:25 to go in the first half, BCU got a lifeline. You said we needed a takeaway. We got the takeaway, and we ran it back for a touchdown.
Now, this is the thing, though. The defense was just on the field after a series that went, I think, over 10 plays, and they're about to come back onto the field again to defend after the touchdown. So hopefully they're getting their water, they're getting their oxygen, they're getting everything that they need over there because they have to come back out and play some more football. Because we've said it earlier, they have been keeping us in the game, and just words out of my mouth. We need a takeaway. They have the takeaway. We score. We're back within 1 score to keep this game competitive.
What can you say that hasn't already been said about Omari Hill Robinson, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, 4-year Wildcat?
Preseason all swag.
Yeah, stayed through COVID, stayed through the coaching transition. He's been balling out this year. 2 interceptions, now a fumble recovery, is best in the secondary in tackles with 24 total tackles. He has a blocked field goal this year. He's done it all.
But see, those are the type of players you want. You want players that are going to be loyal and faithful to the program, that understand that there are highs and lows that come with this game, understand that there are highs and lows that come with every program and in every season, and they are willing to weather that with you. And that's why he's on that field. That's why he makes plays. That's why he's the player that he is today, because he understands not everything is going to come easy.
It's been the 2 cornerbacks, Iverson Clement and Omari Hill Robinson, that have really been the standouts in the secondary today for BCU, even though that Grambling State hasn't passed the ball much because they haven't really needed to.
Well, let's talk about when we talk about their corners, let's talk about their cornerback coach, Bethune-Cookman graduate Nick Collins. And so Nick, his preparation with his cornerbacks is second to none. So you can tell that these boys are ready. These young men are ready to play the game. They're out there making sound decisions. And of course, corner is a very difficult position to play, right? It is a very difficult position to play, running backwards. Breaking on the ball?
Yeah, we're watching the fumble again. Malik Stinnett, the runner chalk is being tackled from behind by Jeremy Greaves, and Stinnett just comes in with the right hand like a boxing glove and just punches that ball right out.
You have Greaves on his legs, you have Hall on his legs, and then next thing you know, that ball comes out before he hits the ground. Great effort by the Wildcats, continuing to go after and claw after that ball until they hear the whistle. Like I said, it's about playing through the whistle. Do not stop until you hear that whistle, and this is what you get. That's what you call maximum effort.
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the latest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest by the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on Shop. Well, the Wildcats are getting set to kick it off. Joshua Johnson back deep to receive. Cade Hector has the ball at the 35-yard line, kicking left to right. This is the second kickoff for Hector of the game. He's going to kick it short, near side. It's going to be caught at the 35. Blockers out in front. Man goes backwards, and he's going to be run down back at the 20. That's great kick coverage there from Bethune-Cookman.
Great kick coverage. They got him pent. They got him moving backwards, and then, of course, they finished off the play with some good, solid tackling.
Davino Ellington made the tackle on the offensive player playing special teams.
It's always good to have a few tackles on special teams when you're an offensive guy.
They will spot forward progress of the Grambling State returner at the 23-yard line. So similar starting field position to where Grambling State started their last drive that, of course, ended in the fumble recovery for a touchdown by Bethune-Cookman. They started at their own 24, and now they're at their own 23.
And this always helps put your team
Three receivers spread all the way to the right near the sideline. Handoff middle. It's going to be Williams again getting almost a first down, 8 yards up to the 31.
Grambling State's not doing anything special. They're running these zone-type reads, these trap-type plays, and just really getting positive yards. Their offensive line is being very aggressive.
2nd and 2 from the 31. Handoff. Williams again bounced it outside, big hole. Flag comes in late as he's tackled at the 41-yard line by Shelton Quarles. We'll check the flag. It is in the area of holding, but we won't hold our breath. We'll see.
And it looks like it could be against the Wildcats.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face.
It is. And already a 4th penalty against the Wildcats today. They're only averaging 5 penalties against per game. And one of the fewest penalized teams in the country. And that will move. But that's going to spot the ball 15 yards from the end of the run, which is going to move it all the way to the BCU 44.
When you have those things, these undisciplined plays, like I said before, these undisciplined plays, they will backfire. They will come back to bite you. And just like that, where it was a decent stop, now we are on our side of the field.
Plus the penalty, that went for about 35 yards from the 44-yard line. Crawley, crossing pattern, wide open, good blocks in front of the receiver, near side 30, 25, 20, tripped up, flag comes in at the 21-yard line as the receiver got pushed out of bounds. That was Nigel Lanier.
A real simple play that Grambling State just ran. After snapping the ball, the receiver doesn't come off the ball too quickly. He kind of waits for everybody to drop and then runs across the entirety of the field, runs a shallow, what they call a shallow drag, and the quarterback just hits him in stride.
It's going to be a block in the back against Grambling. And this is a Grambling team that gets penalized a fair bit. They're in the bottom 10 of FCS nationally in penalties per game.
Well, I need them to get more penalties.
They haven't gotten much today. It's still going to be a first down, but the ball is not spotted at the 18. It's spotted all the way back at the 32. But once again, just a couple of plays and Grambling State in scoring position already. 1st and 10, BCU 32-yard line right to left. 9:20 and counting to go here in this first half. It's a 21-14 Tigers lead. Crawley with one man in motion. Takes the snap, runs all the way back. He's being chased. He has to throw the ball away. Incomplete. Oh, man. It's Conroy Cunningham again. How good has this guy been as he brought pressure from the backside, forcing the errant throw?
Good pressure by Cunningham. What he did was he made sure that he played his assignment, kept his eyes on the quarterback, and forced the quarterback to get rid of the ball in a hurry. So great play by him. So he's going to try to build on his game from last week and bring it to this week. That's what we need today.
That'll go down to the stat book as a QBH, quarterback hurry.
Quarterback hurry.
3 down linemen for Bethune-Cookman. 2nd and 10, 3 receivers spread out to the right side. It's going to be a handoff. Williams running left, wrestled down at the 29, gain of 3 yards. So 3rd down and 7.
Offensively, anybody can take notes from Grambling right now because Grambling is just chipping away little by little. They're not taking really big shots down the field, if you've noticed. It's run, play, shallow drag across the middle. First downs lead to touchdowns. 3rd
down and 7 from the 29 of Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats trying to get a stop. They show blitz. They bring blitz. Off the edge. Crawley goes down. Back at the 39-yard line. Steven Sparrow with a massive blindside hit.
What a hit by Sparrow. The quarterback never saw him coming. Great blitz by the Wildcats. They disguised it well. When the ball was snapped, they had the people who were up. They dropped, but Sparrow kept coming, and then he was not accounted for. And man, oh man, what a tackle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about that's what the Wildcats really need. And I think what we're looking at a punt. Grambling's looking to punt right now.
They knocked him back out of field goal range.
Hey, now Wildcats getting the ball back. Now I'm hoping this is going to set a little fire under the offense to get some points on the board now.
Jimmy Isles, his 2nd punt of the game. Tink Boyd is back at the 10-yard line to return. Isles gets the punt away from his own 50-yard line. High spiraling kick with a lot of backspin. Arcing towards the goal line. It's going to bounce in play at the 3 and be downed at the 1-yard line.
At the 2, they're marking it at the 2.
Can't do it any better than that.
You can't. You cannot. Like, when you need a placement punt, he has been top-notch.
Jimmy Isles just turned to the crowd here and bowed.
I mean, hey, places where soccer is very prevalent, that's really big for them right there.
Well, for Australians, it's really rugby.
It is.
Because you get that backspin on the ball. They can really just place it, get it to stop right wherever it lands. If you've ever watched Australian rules football, it's very interesting.
I've seen it, and I want to become a more of a fan of it because I find it very interesting. I always said that after college, that's what I should have done. I should have gone and played rugby somewhere after college to keep me in the game some way, somehow.
Australian rules football is kind of, if you've never seen it before, kind of a combination of rugby, American football, and soccer, where rugby, where you have to move the ball down the field little by little. Soccer is you have to kick it into a goal. Mm-hmm. But it's a football-looking ball, but you can only move the ball forward by kicking it. So they have to be very accurate with their passes because they pass it by punting, essentially. So that's why all these Australians coming over to the English game, the American game, are these fantastic punters because that's what they've trained to do their entire lives.
And when you've been doing it for your entire life, you become very proficient at it. And right now, we have been pinned in our shadow of the end zone more times than a little bit this game. And we still have 7 minutes and 36 seconds in the second quarter to go.
And again, the first time they were down there, Bethea wasn't ready for the snap. It went in the end zone. And it was a Grambling State touchdown. So jitters, you think, being down here in the shadow of your own goal line again?
I think right now, at this point, you're going to have to show Grambling what you're made of. So they've come in, they've been very physical, they've been very aggressive, and they've been very sound offensively. And in order for you to be able to meet that, you have to do that as well. You are not going to win the game if you cannot play assignment football and still be like stoic and not get in your mind. This is where you become mentally tough.
Wildcats down by just 7 after being outgained 113-15 in the passing game and 147-45 in the rushing game.
And we're only down by a score.
Only down by a score. A defensive scoop and score and an offensive scoop and score.
So offense has put points on the board. The defense has put points on the board. But now our offense has to be more consistent, and we have to be able to establish our running game.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats on the 2-yard line. 7:36 to go first half. Wildcats down by 7. Bethea 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Jimmy Robinson is the running back. 3 receivers right, single left. Grambling State shows blitz. They bring the blitz. It's a rush. Robinson trying to fight through it. Gets to the 3, 1-yard gain.
Gain of one. Jimmy Robinson was trying to pick his way through the defense. You know, he's a small back, so he tries to hide behind his taller offensive line, but he was only able to pick up 1 yard.
2nd and 9 from the BCU 3. Davino Ellington in motion left to right. That puts 3 receivers in a bunch formation to the left-hand side. That's the short side of the field. Grambling shows blitz again. They bring the pressure off the right-hand side. Bethea quick over the middle. Caught at the 10. And Omari Stort is driven backwards, but not before he picks up the first down to the 19-yard line.
Great play, great pass. Hitting him over the middle and him being able to secure that ball right before he takes a big hit and giving the Wildcats a first down.
Only the 4th first down on offense for Bethune-Cookman here in this first half, but they needed it. 1st and 10 at the 19. Bethea back to pass, screen far side, and it's broken up. It was intended for Jalen Terzado, and it got pushed out of his hands, basically, by the defender. Trent Henry, the sophomore from Miami, Florida, the former Miami Central Rocket.
It was a great play. He broke on that ball. He saw Terzado sink his hips, turn to the quarterback, and he broke on the ball to be able to knock it out of his hands before it even got there.
2nd and 10 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 19-yard line. This time the linebackers are well back of the line of scrimmage. Only 3 down linemen for Grambling State. 2 in the backfield with Bethea. Bethea pumps once, pressure from the backside. He scrambles to his left, still on his feet, looking downfield. Now he plants. He's hit as he throws. The ball is hanging in the air, and it's intercepted at the 30-yard line. Intercepted by Grambling State at the BCU 30. Nori Johnson, the sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, came up with a pick, and that ball was just fluttering in the air. as Bethea did good to escape the pocket and scramble to his left, but he couldn't get the pass away before he got crunched, and that ball just hung up there for too long.
Yeah, it just hung up there for too long. The receiver tried to become the defender and knock it down to the ground. However, the DB out-jumped him for that, in that case, a 50-50 ball, and Grambling State came down with it. And once again, Grambling State playing with the short field.
That was Lewis Matthews, the linebacker that is second in the conference in total tackles, to put pressure on Bethea and forced him to make that fluttering errant pass. So Grambling State at the BCU 29, 6:24 to go, up by 7, 21-14.
Need another takeaway.
Crawley takes the snap, back to pass against the four-man rush. He stands in the pocket, throws wheel route far side, caught, tripped up at the 36-yard line is the receiver.
Great tackle by Clement.
Iverson Clement made the tackle.
Great tackle. Great.
That was the tight end. Not often you see like a tight end wheel, Joshua Quiet.
Well, while not often, they do happen every so.
2nd down and 6 after a 4-yard gain from the 27. Crawley back to pass. Under pressure. He's sacked again. Sacked back at the 32-yard line by BCU. Laquan Johnson. Linebacker blitz gets home that time.
Great play. Like we said at the beginning, we have to be able to put pressure on the quarterback. We have to be able to get to the quarterback. So hopefully at this point in time right now, the offensive line for Grambling State is starting to wear down, and the defensive line for Bethune-Cookman is starting to pull up steam and get to the quarterback to disrupt all the running and passing plays.
3rd down and 13 from the 33. Wildcats show pressure again. They back off, only a 4-man rush. Crawley under pressure, throws it away, incomplete. Wildcats want a flag. They're not going to get it, but it is 4th down.
I don't know about that one. That looks like an intentional grounding. I didn't see a receiver in the area.
He just chucked it into his own bench.
The officials are saying I think one is saying that there was, but I didn't see one. I didn't see a receiver in the area.
I didn't see a flag either. Is the official going to make an announcement?
I think they're communicating. Their officials are communicating, but
they are. Throw the flag. And so that might push him out of field goal range again.
They might have to punt, but I'm looking at intentional grounding.
The dial it down still says it's 3rd down.
Yep.
Lost it down, 4th down.
4th down.
And they're sending out the punter again.
There we go.
So Wildcats, another huge stop on defense. How about this defensive line, Johnny? Who's in the game? I don't know. It's been a long game. This Grambling State offensive line gives up less than a sack per game, and we already have 2 in this first half.
I mean, if I'm the defensive line and I go back and watch film, I'm going to be very happy with my performance right at this moment.
Jimmy Isles back at his own 45, put the ball at the BCU 2 last time.
Let's see what we got.
It's that high back spinning kick. It's going to bounce around the 10 and be kept in a diving play to keep it in at the 1-yard line. Tremendous job by the up man for Grambling State. I thought that was for sure going into the end zone.
Right now, Grambling is operating in all phases of the game, offense, defense, and on special teams. 3 straight series we are starting from inside our 5.
Yep.
See.
That was excuse me, I lost the number. Marquise Harris, the 3rd string tight end, just on a huge dive, laid out, kept that ball from going in the end zone.
But he made a great heads-up play because he made sure that he did not go into the end zone, as well as keeping the ball out of the end zone for a touchback. So he made a great heads-up play, and then Grambling, once again, able to capitalize on it and pins Bethune-Cookman this time at the 1-yard line.
It'll be BCU ball at the 1, trailing by 7 with 5 minutes to go first half. When we come back, this is BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. Michael Trevino, Johnny Vickers back here at Grambling State. The Wildcats trail the Grambling State Tigers 21-17. They do get the ball back. That's the good news. The bad news, they are once again at their own 1-yard line for the third straight drive.
One of the most difficult places to move the ball, because it's like if you don't get a good enough push, you get caught in the end zone, and it's a safety, and, of course, they get the ball back again.
Jimmy Robinson in at running back, 5 yards deep in the end zone is Tyleek Bethea in the gun. 2 tight ends in the game to try and defend against the rush. Robinson
gets out the end zone.
Barely got out the end zone. He actually picked up 2 yards to the 3.
Grambling State was there with their ears pinned back. They were like they're going to come for it to try to get that ball back and get that safety. So it was great effort by Jimmy getting out the end zone and even picking up those extra 2 yards.
Not out of the woods yet, though. 2nd and 8 from their own 3. 2 receivers stacked up each side. Single high safety for Grambling, and even now he creeps down into the box.
Flag.
And it's going to be, I thought it might have been offsides, but they are going to get it false start.
False start if they stop in the play.
Man, this is a team that I don't recognize penalties-wise. We've had so many penalties in this game and averaging less than 5 per game before this.
I mean, when it comes to that, it speaks to the discipline of – here's the play.
Number 71.
Yeah.
False start.
Halston Fergillis, the redshirt senior from Queens, transfer from Delaware State.
Yeah, but it talks about a low penalized team. Typically, it shows the discipline in what they're trying to do up front and across the board when it comes to their game. However, we just haven't been able to move the ball, and you don't want to get a penalty when you're only at the 2 or 3.
Well, we're back to the 1-yard line.
Here we go.
Bethea, quick slant over the middle, caught by Boyd up to the 8. So they'll spot it at the 9, 3rd down and 3.
Well, it gives us a little bit more breathing room. Great.
And again, he slipped.
He slipped. Once again, he slipped trying to make his cut. And it gives us a little bit more breathing room to make a little bit more plays and see the field a little bit.
3rd and 3. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line. Bethea, play action, far side, caught first down, 15-yard line. That's Tink Boyd again on a quick catch.
You have to just continue to do this. Take what the defense gives you. If they give you 3 yards, take it. If they give you 4 yards, take it. You don't necessarily have to go for the gusto all at one time.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. BCU, 2 receivers each side, ball left hash. 3:35 and counting to go in the first half. Bethea stands in, throws far side, caught at the 24-yard line. Pickup of 8.
8 or 9, that's good. Once again, Wildcats are trying to drive the ball down the field. We were in the shadow of our end zone. Now we have a little bit more room to breathe. We're 2nd and short, so let's see if we can keep this momentum going.
2nd and 2, 3 receivers right, single left, and I think we might have a timeout here, whistling a stoppage of play.
Let me see. Saying reset the play clock.
Oh, I think it might have been a substitution thing.
Okay.
I think BCU subbed, so Grambling State now got a chance to sub the match. Now we're ready to go. 3 receivers right, single left. Handoff. No, play action. Bethea keeps on a draw, pushing forward. Got the first down at the 27.
He fooled me. I thought Bivens he had the ball, but Bethea, that was a great play action.
Interesting play call there.
Exactly. I would love to see more play action from the Wildcats, but they sold that because I know they had me fooled.
1st and 10 for BCU from their own 27, going left to right. 2:27 and counting in the first half. Bethea, Grambling shows pressure, so Bethea does not take the snap.
They're going to come back to it, though.
Both middle linebackers right up on the line.
Right in both A gaps.
Bethea against an 8-man rush, skips away, stays on his feet, 25-30, wide open middle of the field, 40-yard line, makes a cut, upended at the 44-yard line, 20-yard gain, big first down for BCU.
Wait for Bethea to slip out under that blitz and pick up positive yards while he scrambles on the rush. Here we go. We got 1 minute and 53 seconds left.
Wildcats go quickly. Bethea takes the snap, screen near side, underthrew it, and it was almost picked. Was looking for Jalen Brown, excuse me. Jalen Jones, former BCU quarterback. We watched him play last night with Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. But that was close. We cannot get lazy, right? He kind of had slung it out there, sidearm, and the defense was ready for it. So we want to make sure that we take care of this ball, especially as we're approaching midfield.
2nd and 10 from the 44. 4 receivers in the formation, 3 to the wide side left. Bethea claps his hands but looks to the side to change the play.
That stops the clock at 1:46. That incomplete.
This time, linebackers well back of the line, just a 4-man front for Grambling. They only rush 4. Bethea, under pressure, throws incomplete. He got walloped that time by Keyshawn Johnson on the defensive line there for Grambling.
Ooh. But he stood in there, and he got rid of the ball. Still gives us time, and we're down to him. Oh,
the game clock. Well, the game clock kept running after the ball hit the ground.
Okay.
So it was a mistake by the clock operator. Put 1:42 back on the clock. 3rd and 10. Wildcats on their own 44. Best field position they've had in quite a while. Don't want to give it back to Grambling with time on the clock here.
Look, and the offensive line doesn't need to let anybody run up the middle like that anymore either.
Bethea takes the snap, steps up in the pocket.
Come on.
He's going to run.
He's going to run.
Oh, holding penalty. His helmet came off as a big hit. Big hit and a flag down. Flags all over the field. 3, 4, 5 flags. Bethea's helmet came off at the 45-yard line. He was already the recipient of a targeting call against Texas Southern that knocked him out of the game. Ooh. Bethea, that is.
Yeah. So,
and he just got blitzed after the play.
It looks like we have a holding coming for Bethune-Cookman, but it looks like we have a targeting call coming on Grambling State.
But we might have to do 3rd and 10 again, which is unfortunate.
We might. I don't know.
If the foul's offset. Oh, here we go.
1 against each team. Holding. Offense. Number 71. Personal foul. Targeting. Defense. Number 15. Penalties offset. The targeting is under further review.
So we will have to do 3rd down and 10 from the 44 again. They're going to review the targeting on the junior from Shreveport, Louisiana, Patrick Marshall. And here's the other thing, Johnny. We are going to have to do it again with Bethea out of the game because his helmet came off.
Oh man! Oh, it's a tough hit, and I think that's I think that might be good because Bethea took a real
that's got to be targeting.
Shot.
That's got to. I'm looking at the isolated monitor. That's got to be targeting.
He took
Marshall,
a real big shot.
Bethea was sliding, and Marshall. Watch now. Marshall just came in, boom, as he was sliding down.
Yeah. So you might need to give your quarterback a little bit of a breather after a shot like that, just to kind of get checked out by the medical staff to make sure he's doing all right, because typically you hate to see those type of hits as your quarterback is going down. It looks like he was trying to get down a little bit, and man, the defensive player came and just laid a good old-fashioned hit on him. Now,
1:32 to go before the break. Remember, coming up at halftime, Dan Ryan talks about the great Walter Payton and what happened to the 1973 Bethune-Cookman football team. We'll also hear from VP Anthony Jones about Florida Classic admission sessions November 18th and how you could win free tickets to the Classic. And who wouldn't want to win free tickets to the Classic?
I mean, Classic, one of the best, not just HBCU football games, but football games in the country that you can go to with 2 great storied programs, and then, of course, the 2 world-renowned bands, the Marching 100 of Florida A&M, and then, of course, the Pride, our Marching Wildcats at Bethune-Cookman University.
There was some controversy last week when the Southern Band came to Jacksonville, and there was a big battle of the bands going on. I think BCU's band won that.
I would have to agree, unbiasedly. I would have to agree.
As a former music major here, I have a little bit of a better view about that kind of stuff. But yeah,
you saying I don't have a good view?
Oh no, I just think that both of our opinions are very, very colored by our allegiance to the color of the shirt we're wearing right now. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Bethune-Cookman after the offsetting penalties at their own 44-yard line. 1:32 to go here in the first half. Wildcats down 21-14 and very lucky to be down 21-14. The 2 Wildcat touchdowns have come from 2 scoop and scores. One was picked up by Tink Boyd after an offensive fumble on 4th and 1, and one came after a beautiful forced fumble by Malik Stinnett, was picked up by Omari Hill Robinson and taken back.
It is targeting. It is
so
targeting.
So number 15, Patrick Marshall You see him angry on the sidelines. He is out for the game.
I mean,
and they're going to have to go to Jaden Brunson, the backup left corner.
I mean, let's just be real. Typically, targeting is not something that is intentional. You just have a defensive player out there who's playing hard, who's playing like fired up, doing what he has to do, and sometimes those things happen. So, of course, he's going to be fired up on the sideline because no one wants to be kicked out of a game for playing hard with passion and, you know, just doing the thing that they love to do.
But, again, because of the holding penalty on Bethune-Cookman, it's still 3rd down and 10, even with that targeting penalty.
Yes.
So we're going to have to do it again.
So Bethune-Cookman is going to have to make something happen right now. I hope the offensive line understands that they
have to do it without Tyleek Bethea. Oh, no, Bethea is in the game.
Bethea is in the game.
The rule must be if it's targeting that he can stay in, because his helmet did come off.
It did.
It's a rule I'm not very well versed in. 3rd and 10 from the BCU 44 left to right. 1:30 to go here in the first half. Bethea takes the snap. 4-man rush. Bethea throws left side incomplete. Just threw it out of bounds. It was looking for Omari Stewart, but it's 4th down. And is the offense going to stay in? 1:20 to go.
That is the question of the day.
No, here comes the punt unit.
Here comes the punt team. Here
so,
comes the punt team.
Unfortunately, the holding penalty negates a 1st down, and the Wildcats will have to punt. But that's probably their best offensive drive of the game. They got from their own 1 all the way up to the 44, and probably should have been inside Grambling State territory.
It seemed like Bethea had his mind made up from the snap where he was going with the ball, because I did not see him go through a progression and look to any other place on the field other than the right side.
Anthony Frederic must feel like a palace to him. He's punting from his own 30 and not the back of his own end zone.
Oh, it's a great punt.
It is. It's going to drive the returner all the way back to the 5-yard line. Can the Wildcats contain? Yes, they can. Down to the 12.
Yes, finally have pinned the Grambling State Tigers inside their own red zone. So this is a good thing for the Wildcats.
They'll spot the ball at the 13-yard line after the 5-yard return by Joshua Johnson.
But you have to think that Coach Jackson is probably going to want to try to put some points on the board before going into the half.
I'm sure Grambling State is miffed why they're not up by 30 right now. the way they've dominated this game, we're only up by 7.
Exactly.
Crawley, empty backfield, 1st and 10 for Grambling State from their own 13. Going right to left, 1:09 to go in the first half. Crawley, once again alone in the gun, takes the snap, throws screen left side, caught at the 18 and tackled right there. And a timeout taken by somebody. The referees have not signaled who took the timeout yet.
The pass was caught by Javon Robinson.
Yeah.
Let's see, have they signaled?
They have not signaled who took the timeout. Bethune-Cookman. So they're confident that they can get a stop. I was thinking that they might just want to go into the half up 7. So take me through Coach Woody's mindset here a little bit, Johnny. Why call the timeout here?
Well, if you call a timeout right here, and we just got time put back on.
At 1:03 to go.
1:03. We just got time. It was down to 55 seconds, and they just put a minute and put the clock back up to 1:03. With Coach Woody, you may see that you have the opportunity to be able to get a stop and possibly put your team in position to at least get a field goal out of the upcoming drive once you get Grambling State down to the 4th down.
Well, it is 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard catch by Robinson. Puts the ball at the 18-yard line.
But with that being said, Coach Jackson may try to put 7 more points on that board.
They are going to air this out. 5 wide, 3 right, single left, or 2 left. That's the short side. Crawley alone, 4-man rush. Here he comes. Crawley almost goes down. He stays in the pocket, throws deep. Left-hand side, incomplete, threw it out of bounds. Great pressure, only a 4-man rush. Ebenezer DeBula in there putting pressure on Crawley that time.
I think Eddie Poole saw a little bit of action in there too. Man, look, Bethune-Cookman, that front 4, they were coming after him. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to make this easy for them. If they're going to try to take shots down the field, you're going to have to make them work for it. And that's exactly what the front 4 for Bethune-Cookman did.
Now they bring a running back in on 3rd and 5. Can't tell if this is Chalk or Williams. My apologies. It is Chalk. 2-by-2 the receivers. 3rd and 5 from the 18 for Grambling. Snap to Crawley. He'll pass. He'll throw it over the middle. Incomplete. Big hit on the receiver as well by De'Aris Thomas. No flag.
No flag.
He was looking for Tylen Williams across the middle, and he just overthrew him a little bit.
And here we go. It looks like Grambling State is
So
coming
now,
out to punt.
45 seconds. Wildcats still have 2 timeouts left. Maybe that's a good decision to take the timeout there.
Yeah, get the clock, stop the clock, get it from running. Now we're going to need a decent return. The good thing about it is
Tink Boyd is set up at the 40-yard line.
I think they're adding 2 more seconds back to the clock.
52
seconds.
All right, so this is Jimmy Isles now punting. We've seen him pin the Wildcats deep. What can he do from his own 5?
Let's see what he has. If we can get a decent return, we could put some points on the board going into the half.
Got to get it into Cade Hector's very long field goal range.
Yes. Here it goes.
Isles gets the punt away. It's a high spiral. Bounces at the 40-yard line. Just going to sit there, take a BCU roll back towards midfield. Nobody's touched it yet. Finally, Grambling State dives on it at the BCU 49-yard line. So good field position for the Wildcats at midfield.
At midfield. And so now with 41.6 seconds left, we still have time for a few plays to get into, at the very least, field goal position to see what Cade can do.
And we talked about the advantage of putting all that backspin on the punt when you're trying to pin an opponent deep. That's where it can work against you. In the open field, the ball spins back towards you as after it lands. And I think that was a good call by Tink Boyd to let that one bounce because he knew it was going to bounce the other way.
Well, one of the things that I was concerned about is when it takes that bounce and then your blockers, they don't see the ball where it's bouncing, and it could hit them. And that's what almost happened. But the crowd started getting concerned because they were like, it's taking too much of a BCU bounce. Please stop it.
First and 10 BCU from their own 49-yard line, going left to right. 41 seconds to go here in quarter number 2. Wildcats down 21-14. Bethea in the gun, 3 receivers to aim at. Bethea takes the snap. Here comes the pressure. Bethea rolls to his left. He's going to be sacked all the way back inside the 40 at the 39-yard line. And that's where, as a quarterback, you're going to have to throw that away.
You have to do something with the ball. You can't just hold on to the ball. Whether if you're going to try to extend the play, you're going to have to try to get outside the pocket. Bethea never attempted to even roll to his left, which is because the defensive pressure was coming from his right. So if he would have just kind of rolled to his left a little bit, he may have been able to extend the play, find an open receiver for a bigger gain. Instead, we took a large loss.
So BCU just called their second timeout. I don't understand why. Maybe it's just they're trying to practice a 2-minute drill.
Maybe.
But it's a 1-score game with 30 seconds left in the first half. You just lost 20 yards on a sack. Go to the break.
I mean, it's right now it's second down. Even if it's something where it's you run the ball and the clock goes down, great. But the one thing you don't want is what? A turnover.
Yep.
You cannot turn the ball over at this very moment, especially with 30 seconds. And even if you were to get down to 15 seconds, I would believe that Coach Jackson would try to go for something.
They gave us a very generous forward progress spot.
Very.
Ball's at the 39. He got all the way back towards the 30 before he was finally brought down. So 2nd and 21 for BCU. 5-man front. They only rush 3. Jimmy Robinson up the middle. Maybe gets 1 before he's pushed back. 3rd down and 20. Men's basketball head coach Reggie Theus and women's basketball head coach Janelle Creighton are ready to tip off the 2023 season. Wildcat basketball is right around the corner, and season tickets are on sale now at the BCU box office for just $225 on the lower level and $125 on the upper level. Wildcat basketball wants to see you this season at Moore Gymnasium, and that will take us to the half. The score at the break, Grambling State 21, Bethune-Cookman 14. And when I read you the stats in a minute, you won't believe that that's the score. But while I pull those up, Johnny, your take on the first half of football.
First half of football, of course, it's being very competitive. I think the story lies with the Grambling State offensive line. The offensive line has just been doing their thing. They've been able to really establish Grambling State's run game. I'm sure Grambling has a rush for over 100 yards in this first half. And just it's just evident, right? They've been a lot more physical. They've been a lot more aggressive in this first half. Bethune-Cookman, when they come back out, they're really going to have to really have a change of mindset. they're really going to have to say, like, hey, listen, we are only down 7, and that means we're in this game, and we need to show them who we are. But right now, the story of the game has been the running game and the Grambling State offensive line.
Here are those aforementioned stats. 11 first downs for Grambling State, 6 for Bethune-Cookman. BCU, 23 carries, 57 yards, 2.5 yards a carry. Grambling State, 19 carries, 131 yards, 7 yards a carry.
There it goes.
Of course, bolstered by that 61-yard touchdown run by Williams. Receiving-wise, Grambling State, 7 receptions, 120 yards. That's 17 yards a catch. Bethune-Cookman, 5 receptions, 48 yards, 9 yards a catch. So when we're throwing the ball successfully, we are moving it down the field. Just we haven't completed a lot of those passes. Only 5 completions for 48 passing yards. That is the end of your first half. Once again, coming up, you'll hear Dan Ryan and the Bethune-Cookman history lesson for this week, and, of course, Larry Steele with the halftime news and notes as well. Take it away, boys, in the studio.
So this week we went up against the great Walter Payton at Jackson State University. Mm-hmm. The good news is we held him to 68 yards. The news is he found the end zone 3 times and he threw.
It's Wildcats Central. It's halftime. That means it's time to talk to historian extraordinaire, Mr. Dan Ryan, who is on the phone once again to talk about the 1973 team. Dan, I understand we played one of the greatest running backs of all time this week.
Well, 50 years ago this week, we went up against the great Walter Payton at Jackson State University. Mm-hmm. The good news is we held him to 68 yards. The bad news is he found the end zone 3 times and he threw for a touchdown pass. That's 4 total touchdowns as you're scoring at home or if you're alone or wherever you're at. And Jackson State wins 42-32. They hand the Wildcats their second straight loss. You want to say home cooking. Bethune-Cookman team had only been penalized 29 times in its first 6 games, was called for 17 flags for 170 yards. What do you think? Home cooking?
Wow, 17 flags?
17 for 170 yards. And even so, and despite this, and despite the fact that Randy Sweetback Walker was out, Bethune-Cookman would battle back to within 3 or 4 points on 5 separate occasions before that last touchdown put it away for the Tigers, 42-32. Wayne Allen has a great day for the Wildcats. He rushes for 130 yards, scores a touchdown. Willie Collins scores 2 touchdowns, and Benny Sunshine Hudson, God rest his soul, scored a touchdown as well. So the Wildcats 5-2 and now getting ready to make their stretch run and getting ready to make the trying to clinch the SAAC championship for the first time since 1952.
Wow, that had to be a hard loss.
17 penalties without your best player, and you're still going back and forth with one of the greatest of all time.
Sweetness, Walter Payton. I just can't believe he only had 68 yards and scored 3 times. That is amazing.
The man could find the end zone.
Yes, he could. Well, Dan, do we have any other good news to share this afternoon?
Well, I just want to say, we want to talk about real quick, we're talking about some of the histories. Like the last time, I talked, it was the 40th anniversary. 5 years ago, you and I were working on one of our greatest scored interviews when we interviewed Tom Osborne when Bethune-Cookman went to Nebraska. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I was listening to it and reading the recaps of the greatest game I ever covered, and without having to go to because I stayed behind to work volleyball, tennis, women's basketball, and cross country that weekend. So lots of history. When you get a chance, when you've been around for a while, you get a chance to relive a lot of good memories, and that definitely was a good one. So I thank you for that.
All right. Dan Ryan, as always, we look forward to hearing from you every weekend at halftime. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Sunday, January 14th at 7:30 at the Peabody in Daytona Beach. R&B legends Russell Tompkins Jr. and the New Stylistics. And Harold Melvin's Blue Notes. Tickets and info at PeabodyAuditorium.org. On sale now. Hit after soulful stylistics and Blue Notes hits. Another Music Works concert.
Rubber Duckies, on your mark, get set, go! 5,000 rubber ducks will race at the Riverfront Esplanade in downtown Daytona Beach. Adopt your duck today and you can win $2,500 first prize, $1,000 for second place, and $500 for third. The best part is 40% of your purchase goes to support scholarships at Bethune-Cookman University. Visit www.duckrace.com/Daytona Beach and select BCU in the Teams tab. Do it today. Participants don't need to be present on race day to win, but we'd love to see you there. This event supports the Greater Daytona Beach Kiwanis. The event takes place Sunday, November 5th at the Riverfront Esplanade, just in walking distance from downtown Daytona Beach. Remember, when you purchase your duck, 40% of your purchase goes to support scholarships at Bethune-Cookman University. Visit www.duckrace.com/Daytona Beach and select BCU in the Teams tab. Wildcats, get ready for the big splashdown.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. It's the Wildcat News Feed on Sirius XM Channel 142, HBCU. I'm your host, Harold Ford, and today we're joined by the enrollment guru. He is the enrollment guru because he knows everything about enrollment. And we're happy to have him here at Bethune-Cookman University, Dr. Anthony E. Jones, Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Experience. Once again, my friend, thank you for hanging out with us.
And it is a friendship, sir. And I appreciate being in your studio, Brother Ford. You make this experience always so welcoming. Thank you, sir.
So we're going to jump right in today because some very important things are happening. So you share with me all the time the good stuff, and we're getting ready for the spring. It's coming fast. Fall for next year. It's coming fast. Mm-hmm. There's some news that you want to share about student enrollment today, Dr. Jones.
Well, you know, I am always in awe of the opportunity that I have to sit in a seat that manages enrollment for the historic Bethune-Cookman University. I've been a fan of the heroine, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, for many, many years. And I wonder often about what was she doing to garner students to come to BCU, which would have been BCC in her time.
Right.
And what I know is that that wonderful woman went across the state, went across the nation, and talked about her school. And it wasn't a hard sell back then because the message was clear. Come to BCU, get a quality education, and go out and serve. Enter to learn, depart to serve. That's what I'm here today to talk about, because that message is still resonating today. Look, I want your listeners to understand, as I sit in a seat right now, we literally are ahead in applications from where we were the last year. And last year we were ahead in applications than where we were the year before. So what is it? I'll tell you what it is. When you start talking about what we offer, you have to acknowledge the family atmosphere of our institution.
Amen.
The fact that we are a private school in the state of Florida that is offering a quality education that is affordable. When you look at the tuition, for example, of us here at Bethune-Cookman University and compare it to private schools across the state, we literally are in the bottom third for the most affordability. In other words, we are in the top third that you can actually afford our institution. That matters. When you layer on the top of that, the donors that have given us dollars to help our students to afford BCU, then what you have are young people that are coming from across this state and across the nation to be with us in this small, intimate family environment where they get a 15-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio right there in their face, learning majors that are wanted by the market: business, mass communications, biology, pre-med, and so forth. And then they go out with a servant's heart, right? They want to not just do the job, but make an impact. And so that's what I get excited talking about. I'm joined by recruiters from our staff that go out across the nation to talk about this. We've got faculty that go out to talk about this to students and others. And so we just want to just continue to trumpet the message and let people know we want students that want to be with us we want them to be with us here at BCU.
Now we're preparing
Yes.
for students to come. So here's the part that I'm putting myself in the place of a parent.
Yes.
How do I apply to make sure that my child has everything they need for the 2024 spring
Yes.
or fall?
Yes.
So here's the questions I'm asking. What do I need to do now to get my child safely into Bethune-Cookman University?
Love the question. Love the question. And what I really love about it is the fact that it's the parent point of view. Brother Ford, I will tell you, over this 20 plus years that I've been blessed to do this work, I've never seen there be such a connection between the school and parent like I do today.
Great.
And I'm thankful for it.
Great.
Because it is a true partnership. Back in the day, parents say, look, I've got you as far as I can get you. If you're gonna go the rest of the way, it's gonna be on you. No more. We have parents we work with, we're sending out the same information often that we send to the new student, we're sending it right to the parent, right? So that they're up to speed on what to do. All right.
Yes.
The first thing is we wanna make certain that that student has applied. That student can go to www.cookman.edu. They can go right to that admissions page and they can find our application. It's quick, it's easy, they get into our system and they apply. But to finish that application, we're gonna need things like a transcript. That parent can ensure that that student is on top of getting us that transcript.
Very important.
Very important. And then once that student has been admitted, there's a checklist of things that we need from the student.
Okay.
Right? For example, one of the most important, if maybe the most important thing, is completing the FAFSA. Now,
Yes.
you and I have had some conversations about that.
Yes.
We know that FAFSA simplification is happening this year, which means FAFSA did not come out October 1,
Right.
as all expected it to. Instead, it's going to be around December sometime. But we want to put that on the parent radar screen. We want them thinking about this. We want them tapping that student on the shoulder constantly saying, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready?
Are we ready? Yes.
Right? And then there's the housing application and making certain that that's completed. Once a student is admitted to BCU, within about 7 to 10 days, if not less, they're gonna get that housing application link. Let's get housing done, right? Orientation, online orientation. They're gonna get a link to make certain that they can go through that. They're gonna need to complete that process. Here's another one, the health form. We have the certain health regiments that the student has to complete before they come in. Fill that out, make sure that that's done. But probably what is the most practical step that they can do besides all of the other practical steps I just mentioned? Pay your deposit. Right?
Right.
It's a $200 deposit to reserve your seat in the class. And some parent might say out there, well, wait a minute, Mr. Jones, I only have $200 to go around. I can't just put it on multiple schools. I appreciate that. I value that. And you want to think about which school you want to make that investment. I would only caution you by saying, we get roughly about 15,000 applications a year, which, by the way, is one of the highest application counts for an HBCU. And we will only seat about 1,500, little less than 1,500 freshmen. So it's possible that you might miss out on a seat if you're accepted if you don't put down your $200. Because ultimately, we want everyone to be ready for the start of class in the fall.
So what is there a deadline date that we have?
Yeah. So if a student is applying for this spring, and I want to point out that we are taking applications for this spring, then November 1 is the deadline date to get
November 1.
all of your information in. Now, if you missed the November 1 deadline date and you need us to work with you around that, we will do our best to work with you. But November 1 is the priority deadline date. When it comes to fall 2024, July 1 is the deadline date that we like to work with for all of your information to be in and finished. But again, if we find families are not quite there yet, and we understand that there's sometimes challenges as to why, we will try to work with that family past that particular date.
So for spring, it's November 1st.
Yes, sir.
And for fall 2024, it's July 1st.
Yes, sir. You got it on the head. That's right. That's right.
So we want to make sure that you remember those dates.
Absolutely.
Those dates are very important. So now we have a major event, the Florida Classic. the Florida Blue Florida Classic's coming up.
Yes.
And it's a major event, but I don't want to spoil this, but you're having an admission session, so I want you to explain it and tell us what's going on. I know you're excited about it.
I am excited. You can't spoil it at all, my friend. Tell it. Announcement. We are hoping that everyone that is listening to this will join us for our information session that is going to be the morning of our Florida Classic. That is the largest Black college football classic in the nation, I should add.
Yes.
We will be at the Shingle Rosen Creek Hotel, which is the host hotel for us there in Orlando for BCU. And we will have an information session that begins at 9 a.m. that morning. And we are going to be joined by our president, Dr. William Berry, who's going to share some words of encouragement, a little bit about our institution. We also will have our student royalty that's going to be a part of that. Our Mr. and Miss BCU and the Royal Court. We'll have student leadership. Also, SGA will be joining us, our Student Government Association, they're going to be a part of that as well. And so you'll get that perspective. We'll have an alumni perspective that's going to be shared. You'll get an admissions presentation about the details of admissions. Financial aid information will be shared as well. But the best part, perhaps, is free tickets to the Classic. Each participant will get 3 free tickets to join us that afternoon as we whoop them Rattlers and take the victory back.
The bell is going off continuously. Did you say free?
I did indeed. Free, my friend. We want them to experience what you said earlier, the fullness of the Black college experience.
Yes.
The bands, the crowd, the alumni.
Yes.
I mean, it is just going to be a full show, and we want them to truly experience what that's like. So, 3 free tickets to each participant that joins us for our information session.
And can I get a date? The date of the Florida Classic is?
Yes, November the 18th.
November the 18th.
That's right.
A Saturday.
It's a Saturday. That's it.
And time?
So, again, we will start at 9 a.m. at the Shingle Rosen Creek. You can register for this information session on our website. Go to www.cookman.edu. Again, that's www.cookman.edu. When you're there, you'll see right on the banners that are going across the screen, the Florida Classic Admissions Session. Click there, and you'll be able to go right into the registration for it, and it'll give you all the details.
To hear more about the admissions session with Dr. Anthony E. Jones, Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Experience, go to our website at www.wele1380thecat.com.
Welcome back to Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium. Your halftime score, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 14, Grambling State Tigers 21. Now, as we always do at the half, it's time to get you some scores from around the SWAC. Right here, it's 21-14. Up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions trail the Jackson State Tigers 26-7 at halftime. It's a close one in the Magic City Classic between Alabama A&M and Alabama State. The Hornets over the Bulldogs 17-14. That game is at the half. And Florida A&M, facing their second straight team from the state of Texas, takes on Prairie View. They are up 14-0 midway through the second quarter. Also today, Texas Southern plays Southern, and Mississippi Valley State goes to Alcorn. That's your SWAC scores. From around the rest of Division I football, it's the world's largest cocktail party, and probably where we would both be if we weren't here today. Georgia 26-7 over Florida at halftime. All Georgia in that one. James Madison and Old Dominion tonight. Number 25, JMU, my alma mater. Always want to give them a mention here. Texas, big over BYU, 21-3 at the half. Oregon up 21-6 over Utah at the half in a ranked matchup. Notre Dame all over Pitt, 17-0 at halftime. Louisville over Duke by the same score at the half, 17-0. Number 22, Tulane over Rice, 17-7. USC trails California 21-17. That game just started the second quarter. Got some games later on today. Washington at Stanford, Air Force at Colorado State, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Colorado, UCLA, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Oregon State, and Arizona. Some final scores from earlier today. Florida State all over Wake Forest, 41-16 as the Noles continue to roll up there in Tallahassee. Kansas beats Oklahoma 38-33. Oklahoma takes their first loss of the season.
Whoa. Upset alert. Upset alert.
And apparently they convert a fourth down score late in the game to win that one. And Penn State survives Indiana 33-24. That's your out-of-town scoreboard. And as we are getting set to go, about a minute till kickoff, what needs to happen for Bethune-Cookman to come out here in the second half and be competitive? Because the offense has not been competitive. The defense, man, they are taking names.
Listen, Bethune-Cookman needs to get their back off the wall, like literally. Their back has been to the wall the majority of the first half, meaning that they have started from deep within their own territory and been trying to unsuccessfully work their way out. And so right now, the offense has got to put themselves in a better position to be able to be successful and to be able to put points on the board. The defense is doing what they need to do because this game right now should be out of control, to be perfectly honest.
We have under 100 yards of offense. They almost have 300 yards of offense in the first half, and it's a 7-point game.
So the defense, I don't know if anybody from the SWAC is listening, but I need at least 6 all SWAC defensive players to come from Bethune-Cookman with them doing this.
Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us, here at the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Department at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu, at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. We are looking for sponsorship partners for basketball season starting up in a minute and for the end of football season this year. So contact us at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. It is once again a gorgeous day here in Grambling, Louisiana. Temperatures low 80s, high 70s, partly cloudy skies, the sun peeking through and just starting to go behind the stadium press box behind us. There was a lot of rain last night that maybe made the field a little bit slick. We were talking about that in the first half with the field not having pellets in it, plus the rain. Mm-hmm. We've had a couple of slips from both teams in that first half, but really what we didn't get to touch on in the first half is there are not a lot of people here. Senior day, final home game for Grambling, and there are maybe a couple thousand in this stadium that can sit 20,000. There's almost nobody on the far side as the Wildcats come out and get set to kick off.
Absolutely no visitors, no one sitting on the visitor side, and it looks to be as there might be some people even leaving the stadium. I don't know if they have an event on campus that people are trying to get ready for, but the game is not nearly to capacity as what it could be.
Well, you know who's not leaving? Us. We will be here to take you through the second half. Cade Hector kicks off right to left. Joshua Johnson back deep to receive. It's a short kick. It's going to be caught at the 15-yard line, far side, and coming up to the 30 out of bounds is Johnson, and that is where the Grambling State Tigers, who will feel a little bit frustrated with their lack of scoring. They have 21 points, but of course one of those was a defensive touchdown.
Of course.
On the bad snap on the punt. So they only have 14 points.
Offensively, yep.
And they have 300 yards of offense. So I think at halftime the offensive meeting must have been, come on guys, we got to put some points on the board here.
Yeah, right now they probably said, come on, we're outplaying them, everything else. However, if you look at the score, Bethune-Cookman's defense has been the heart of this team this day. Miles
Crawley, the transfer from Alabama State, in at quarterback. Ball left hash, 2 receivers left, single all the way to the right. It's going to be a first down carry. Try to bounce it outside. Nowhere to go.
Nowhere.
For Chance Williams. He had that big 61-yard touchdown run in the first half, but that time he was swallowed by the gold wall of maroon goal ball of Bethune-Cookman. That was DeBula and Walls combining on the tackle.
Yeah, he tried to slip up under the tackle, but our defense had him in their teeth and wouldn't let him go.
And that's the adjustment Bethune-Cookman needs to make, right? On these delayed rushes and these draw plays, you can't get caught napping.
Yes, exactly, because that's the same thing that Southern did last week to us.
2nd and 13 after the loss of 3 back at the 26-yard line. Crawley takes the snap, looks to pass. Over the middle, dropped. It was a curl route, far side of the numbers, and it was dropped by Rash.
Good play. Even though the ball was dropped, we had Clement on the receiver, ready to make a defensive play on the ball. But when the ball, you know what they say, when the ball hits you in the hands, you got to catch it. So, but still,
all right,
works in our favor.
Couple of changes on the BCU defense. They're really crowding the line on 3rd and 13.
Yeah, they're trying to confuse the offensive players.
Lots of cushion underneath for the corners. 3rd and 13, Crawley, the snap, pressure off the edge. He steps up in the pocket and throws to the relief valve, and he's not going to get very far. That was Javon Robinson. He got past the 30 to the 32, but no further as he was shut down by Sparrow.
Amari was playing, giving him a real soft cushion there as he was the safety valve from the back. I think he could have probably played him a little bit tighter for not as big of a game. But
they got 6. They needed 13. They're still going to punt.
But they still got a punt, but it's still a good stop by the Wildcats defense again.
And they're doing a good job at disguising blitz packages by keeping those linebackers up on the line.
Exactly. They're going to try to do everything they can to disguise.
Jimmy Isles to punt this one away. It's a low-driven punt. Bouncing, rolling, 30, 25, 20. Keeps rolling inside the 20 to the 15. And at the 15-yard line is where it will sit. So Wildcats not quite as deep as they have been back at their own 1, 2, 3, but they're at their own 15-yard line to start this second half on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen the Wildcats anemic on offense today. But towards the end of that first half, they started finding a little something.
Yeah, you're hoping to see the Wildcats get into some type of rhythm offensively to be able to start moving the ball down the field as what's needed in order to put points on the board.
Tyleek Bethea back in at quarterback. He took a big hit, and the defender Patrick Marshall was removed for targeting on the last drive of the first half. Let's see if he's not too shaken up. Bunch formation near side left, ball left hash, single receiver right. And a whistle and a stoppage of play as there was an extra Grambling player trying to run on late. Is that Grambling having to take a timeout?
Did they?
We'll see. My referee didn't turn his microphone on. Yes, they took a timeout because they only had 10 men on the field.
Wow.
And they didn't want to be beat.
13 minutes, 15 seconds on
the third quarter.
Man.
Wow. That's a huge blow, and you're a former player. How does that happen when you can't get 11 guys on the field?
Well, I mean, sometimes there are so many different packages that you run both offensively and defensively that you have to know when and where, and you have to be attentive to what the coach is calling and who the coach is calling for. If not, you could get definitely mixed up in with all the personnel coming in and out, that there are times where you might have either one too few or one too many players on the field.
Because there was definitely a defensive lineman, I think it was Javon Carter, trying to run on late, and he was definitely not going to be there at the snap, so Jackson chose to take the timeout.
Yeah, and sometimes you hope that those type of things don't burn you later on in the game with having to use, I would say, a very frivolous timeout versus, possibly it being a close game and then you needing that time, that one timeout later in the game to stop the clock or hopefully get a play, give yourself a little bit more time after a play. But, those things do happen. And, I mean, and it's not just Grambling, it's not just Bethune-Cookman, it's to anybody. If you watch football, you've seen it at the highest levels of football, and you've seen it at the lowest levels.
Bethune-Cookman football continues SWAC conference play this Thursday, November 2nd, with a matchup of Mississippi Valley State. The Delta Devils are in town. The game will be broadcast live on ESPNU. Can't watch? You can listen to all the action live at youtube.com/CatEye Network or listen locally in Daytona Beach on 1380 WELE. Quick turnaround for the Wildcats, and we have a little bit of time after the timeout. Talk about that. Playing on a Saturday and then turn around and playing on Thursday.
Well, you typically do not like those type of situations. They're generally not favorable, right? Because the majority of the game of football is about the preparation, the planning, the packages you're going to run. And so once we leave here, we fly back to Daytona, and then guess what? Tomorrow, they're game planning for this upcoming week, which we play on Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's a short week. And not just that it's a short week, that the other team is coming off of a bye week. So they have another advantage that they've been preparing for us for the past 2 weeks now. And where they get 2 weeks, we get 4 days.
All right, here we go. First down and 10 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 16-yard line. Bethea in, bunch formation of receivers to the left, single receiver out wide to the right. Bethea claps his hands, takes the snap, looks to throw, steps away. 15, steps up to the 20, up to the 21-yard line. That's a little 5-yard gain by Bethea out the back door.
Once again, Bethea is seeming like he's taking a little bit too much time to step up into the pocket to extend the play. He's trying to be patient, but right now with how the defense is getting to him, he has to step up in the pocket a lot faster.
They'll spot the ball at the 20-yard line, give Bethea a 4-yard rush. 3 receivers to aim out, 2 to the short side left, single all the way out to the numbers on the right, ball left hash. 12:41 to go third quarter. Wildcats down 21-7.
Dakari in motion.
Bethea takes the snap. It's going to be a slip and fall in the backfield by Jimmy Robinson. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and he had a hole there if he could have made that cut.
Yes. Jimmy Robinson tried to cut off of his back foot to make the defender miss and fell. And once again, another slip by another player.
You've seen it eat both teams, but specifically Bethune-Cookman has just been slipping all over the place. Third down and 6 from the 20 after the no-yard gain. And this is where Bethune-Cookman has gotten themselves in some trouble today on third and medium to long.
Yeah, because we haven't been able to complete the plays. Our third down conversion rate hasn't been great today, so we're hopefully being able to turn this around in the second half.
2-by-2, the wideouts, ball left hash, 4 down linemen for Grambling State. They only rush 4. Bethea throws, intercepted at the 20. He tried to throw the slant to Davino Ellington, and it was just gobbled up. There was no read. He just threw it right there. And Jaden Rudolph got the interception for Grambling State, and we put them right back in scoring distance.
Davino looked like he ran a deep hitch, and the cornerback just jumped it. And this is what we were seeing in the first half, that their corners were jumping the routes, right? Their corners were sitting back, giving them a little bit of cushion, and just letting them sit to be able to jump the route. This time it paid off for Grambling State.
Well, turnovers. That's what we opened the top of the broadcast talking about turnovers, and turnovers continue to hurt Bethune-Cookman at the worst times. We gave up 7 points on a turnover, a bad snap. And now we maybe got up to give another 7 points away off turnovers. Short field for Grambling State, 1st and 10 inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Blitz coming.
Crawley, handoff, left side, nothing doing for Chance Williams. You called that blitz. Eddie Walls on the tackle.
Good job. Also on the tackle is the nickel, Jalen Christian, who came in off the corner. The tackle gave him a little shove, but Jalen stayed on his track and was able to get in on that tackle.
Loss of 2, back to the 21-yard line. The defensive line, has done a really good job getting pressure. No.
They're trying to disrupt the quarterback, but right now, like I said, the offensive line for Grambling is the story of today's game.
2 receivers left, single right, ball in the middle of the field. Tight end in motion, left to right. Crawley takes the snap, handoff, sweep left side. It's a reverse
again.
And wide open at the 25.
Good job.
And ripped down at the 20-yard line. That was close to a horse collar tackle. Javon Robinson. That's the second time they've ran that reverse. He only got back to the original line of scrimmage. He'll spot the ball at the 19, 3rd and 10.
He stayed home. He saw a flow go away and stayed home for anything that would come back. That's the second time that Grambling has ran a reverse today. First time they got some pretty good yards. This time we were able to stop them.
I believe that was Shelton Quarles on the tackle. So now 3rd and 10.
It's called playing assignment football.
They didn't spot him at the 19. They spotted him at the 20, 3rd and 11.
Okay. That's called playing assignment football. He did what he was supposed to do.
One-on-one matchup here on the all the way on the near side. Williams in the backfield with Crawley, who takes the snap. 3-man rush. Crawley deep, middle, incomplete. No flag. Great coverage down the middle of the field. That was numero uno again, Amari Hill Robinson.
Great
And here
play.
comes the field goal unit.
Amari stayed in his hip pocket, and when the ball was delivered, his hand was just there to knock it out. It was a great play. That's how you want your corners to play. You want to play good, disciplined football. No pass interference call. He gave the receiver room, but was right there to make a play.
The Antonio Jones, who's the leading receiver for Grambling State, actually hasn't caught a pass yet today, but
37 yards.
37-yard attempt for Tanner Rinker. His season long is 38, so this is right on it. It is up, and it is good. No, he missed it left again. He missed it left again. Again, our apologies. We're looking through a couple of panes of glass to see that goal post. Tanner Rinker has missed 2 field goals left on that right side goal post. The first time it was a bad snap, and the holder never got it down. I think this time he just missed it.
He just shanked it to the left. The ball looked like it came off of his foot sideways, and then he just hooked it to the left.
Yeah, I mean, Tanner Rinker currently leads the SWAC in kicking points and second in total points. He was the SWAC newcomer of the week back 2 weeks ago. This is an uncharacteristic day for the freshman from Colorado.
Yeah, well, these things do happen, and when they do happen, it's all about, are you able to keep your mind in the place where you are able to turn your day around? Because right now your day's not going great. You missed 2 field goals, but are you able to turn the day around? And that's what we're looking for from the Wildcats. Are the Wildcats able to turn their day around even though their day is not going as planned?
They'll get a chance on offense when we come back. This is BCU Football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. After the missed field goal by Tanner Rinker, Wildcats back on offense at their own 20-yard line, trailing 21-14, 9:40 to go third quarter. Michael Terrell, Johnny Vickers here for you from Eddie Robinson Memorial Stadium in Grambling, Louisiana. Tylik Bethea is the quarterback. Dakari Allen Johnson in motion. He takes the pitch. It's going to be a jet sweep to the left. He cuts it up, bounces off a tackler, still going past the 30 in a crowd of black jerseys. Hang on to the ball, young man. He does get a 15-yard gain up to the 34.
It's all about making people miss when you have that ball running through those arm tackles, which Dakari did.
That might be the best play offensively for the Wildcats all game.
Absolutely.
Nice 15-yard pickup. First and 10 from their own 34. Bethea, screen left side, caught by Tink Boyd. Makes a man miss in the backfield and gets 1, if that. Defense was right there on it.
Those real quick screens off to the side or sometimes can just be hit or miss, especially if you don't have any good blocking or if they are playing assignment football and very disciplined coming down.
Trent Henry made the tackle. We haven't really talked about the preseason SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, Sundiata Anderson, on the right side of that defensive line wearing number 9. Second and 10. Handoff, middle. Little bit of a hole there for Robinson. Now he's trying to push the pile. He'll get 4, maybe 5. I'll give him 4 up to the 37.
We have a flag back here in the secondary.
Way back there in the secondary.
Yeah, way back.
Not sure what that's supposed to be. It's a legal substitution on Grambling, and that's why the flag is all the way over by the Grambling bench.
There it is.
I was confused. Like, no part of that play happened at the opposite 40-yard line. What's going on? They must have had 12 men on the field.
Must have.
And that's the second time we've seen substitution mishaps from Grambling in this second half. They've already forced them to call a timeout.
Yep, and those things can happen, especially when you run no-huddle offense.
2nd down and 5 from the 39 of BCU going right to left. One man in motion. Bethea takes the snap. Handoff. Bivens running right. He has a lane, and he's going to bounce off a tackle 40. Right side 50, and he's going to be out of bounds at the Grambling State 45. That's excellent core strength from Jaden Bivens. He bounced off that tackle by Quentin Talley and kept going.
As a running back or any type of offensive skill player, that's one of the things that you need to be able to do, is to be able to make that first person miss, either by being elusive or bouncing off of them and then picking up more yards like Bivens did. And we have a Grambling State player down on the ground.
And it is Talley who just missed that tackle. So we talked a lot about missed tackles for Bethune-Cookman in the first half. Now BCU is getting Grambling to miss some tackles here in this third quarter. Talk about sort of tackling fundamentals and why you see a lot of these pinball-type plays where guys will pick up an extra couple of yards after first contact.
Well, a lot of times when you tackle, it's all not just about when you make contact, but it's about making the contact, keeping your momentum through the contact, and then wrapping up. A lot of times people are just so interested, players are just so interested in making the big hit, right? And then trying to just run through somebody, that all that other fundamental things go out the window. But in order for a good fundamental tackle, you want to run, hit, continue your momentum through the offensive player, wrap up, and then take him to the ground.
Do you remember the Jadeveon Clowney back when he was playing for South Carolina, the hit against Michigan in the bowl game?
Oh, man.
I think a lot of people, a lot of young players saw that and want to do that every time. But you can't do that every time.
But you cannot do that every time. Plus, Clowney was just a special type of defensive end when he was at South Carolina.
And in the NFL, too.
And in the NFL. But those are the type of things that you have to know that person is going down if you're just going to, quote-unquote, run through them.
Bethune-Cookman Volleyball returns to Moore Gymnasium tomorrow, October 29th, for cluster of SWAC games. Come on out and support your Wildcats at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Sunday, with the third game of the weekend set for Monday at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Can't make it some more? Catch everything live on the CatEye Network. I'll be there with Taylor Pritchett breaking down all the action when Bethune-Cookman plays, and you can watch every game, all 5 matches on Sunday, and 4 on Monday on the CatEye Network. SWAC cluster coming to town for Bethune-Cookman for the first time. We're going to be there. It's early morning for us.
Early morning. Like, we get back, go to sleep, get up. We might as well just sleep at the gym.
Sleep at the office, yeah.
Just sleep in the gym and just wake up for the volleyball game.
But it's going to be a great weekend.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
These little tournament-style cluster events, always so great. Even if you just support Bethune-Cookman and love volleyball, come on out. It's a great
Even
weekend.
if you've never watched volleyball, come on out and support, because these girls, man, they play their heart out.
Wildcats needing a couple of wins to stay alive in the playoff picture as well.
They do.
All right, Bethune-Cookman, they'll spot the ball at their own 49-yard line, 1st and 10. Snap Bethea, handoff, running left Bivens. He is going to be run down. Tackle for loss all the way back at the 45-yard line, loss of 4.
Right there, they tried to run the ball to the left-hand side, and the left-hand side of the offensive line was just pushed back into the runner. There was nothing he could do. And
is that one of those situations where Bethea maybe looks at that and pulls it and tries to get some yards off the other side?
If the run calls for him to do that. A lot of times people get lazy and they don't pull.
2nd down and 14 from Bethune-Cookman's 45. Snap Bethea. Play action, rolls right. Man at his face, throws it out of play into the end.
Good job.
Into the BCU bench. Nobody open downfield. But now it brings up 3rd down and 14, and this is where we've struggled today.
Good job. Yeah, this is where we struggle, but good job by Bethea being able to get outside the tackle box, see that his receivers recovered, and get rid of the ball to not take negative yards.
Yeah, Bethune-Cookman, there must be a force field on the Grambling side of the field. We have not had an offensive snap inside Grambling State's side of the field today.
Apparently, only the referees and Grambling are not subject to his forces.
2 by 2 the receivers. Bethea the snap immediately under pressure, rolls to his right, moving receivers around, throws it middle. Caught by Terzano at the 40-yard line. First down, Bethune-Cookman. How about that?
Now that's how you extend the play, and great drop by Terzano, finding the open field and Bethea getting the ball to him.
And he was moving him around. He was pointing,
He was pointing
go
to
there.
him. Yes, trying to direct traffic.
And another injured Grambling State player.
We have another one who's catching a cramp. When this happens, that means people are not getting hydrated and staying hydrated when you're catching those cramps in your leg on the field in the middle after plays.
That's Javon Carter, the defensive tackle, who's down on the ground for Grambling State. He's been a big disruptor up front. So Grambling's starting to lose pieces of this defense. We have Patrick Marshall for targeting. We had Quentin Talley, who got banged up after the play earlier on this drive. And now Javon Carter, who is limping to the sideline. So maybe if you get some of those second unit guys in there, the Wildcats could find some breathing space.
Yeah. One of the things I know that when Bethune-Cookman was in the MEAC, we always knew that we had an advantage when teams would come to Daytona, because it was going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
hot,
the top of the day,
humid,
hot, and you're coming from like Virginia and D.C. You don't know about Florida heat, and right now I don't know if Grambling has done what they needed to do as far as hydration goes to keep themselves on the field.
Big 3rd down and 14 conversion for Bethune-Cookman. This will be their first snap inside Grambling territory in the game. They're at the 38-yard line. One man in motion, that's D.A.J. He takes the jet sweep, looking for a lane, driven backwards all the way back. They'll mark forward progress at the 44, loss of 6.
A loss of 6. Now, look, when don't be surprised if they come back to something similar in a little bit, because after Bethea handed that ball and he rolled out to the opposite side, no one was there around him. So if you see this later, don't be surprised.
But now defense for Grambling get a chance to pin their ears back. 2nd and 16. Bethea, quarterback draw, trying to escape the pocket, tripped up. No gain on the play. 3rd and 16 coming up. There was some space there, but he just got pulled back by Fields, I believe.
Like I said, he's not getting into the pocket soon enough. Of course, you want the play to develop, and he's trying to be patient and let that play develop, but he has to do it like half a second faster because of how fast the Grambling State defensive line is getting to.
3rd and 16. Now, you really don't need to get this all. Just about 10 yards is field goal range.
Yes.
2 by 2 the receivers. Omari Stort in motion. Offsides, free
Free play.
Bethea throws it up. It is intercepted.
Oh, they blew the play dead?
Well, there's a Wildcat down. It's
Jimmy
Robinson. Let's see if they call this false start. Offsides. So they give 5 yards back, so it'll be 3rd and 11.
Well,
I mean, I'm okay with Bethea taking that shot. It's a free play.
It's a free play, but I think they blew the play dead. But anytime that happens, you want to you want to keep going, even if you hear the whistle, just in case.
Yeah, they converted 3rd and 14 to get them to this position. Now it's 3rd and 11 at the 39 of Grambling State. 3 receivers bunched near side. Ball left hash. 5:25 to go 3rd quarter. Wildcats still trail 21-14. Bethea takes the snap. Here comes the rush. Bethea steps up. He rolls to his right. He throws it far side. It is caught by Terzado, but he is well short of the first down marker at the 34-yard line. Is this field goal range or is this 4th down range? Bethea now slow to get up. Actually needed the referee's help to get up, and he is limping back to the huddle.
They were coming. They had their ears pinned back.
4th and 6. They're going to keep the offense on the field. 4th and 6, not quite Cade Hector field goal range.
No.
Ball at the 34.
Here we go.
Got to get to the 28. One man in motion.
There
Snap
it goes
Bethea.
again. Free play.
Bethea takes a shot far side. It is caught in double coverage. Did he keep his feet in bounds? No.
He did not. And the defense rolled him out of bounds. So that's why the referee's hat is off right now. So the defense rolled him out of bounds. So even if he were to catch the ball, him coming back into the field of play and being the first one to catch the ball would be a penalty. Well, it's going
to be 4th down again, but after another 5-yard penalty. Wait, the Wildcat offense is coming off the field here.
Are they saying that it?
Hold on.
Hold on. Let's see what we got.
Referee waving his hands for a timeout.
Now, are they saying that it was a false start before the offsides?
We'll see. Or if, well, because there's no way if this is not on offsides, Bethea makes that throw. Because
Exactly.
he just chucked it.
Exactly.
So I couldn't imagine they're giving the ball to Grambling here. The referee did not turn his mic on to talk to the crowd, so we don't know what's going on. We assume it's first down Grambling State. It's first down Grambling State. They picked up the offsides flag. Wow.
They picked up. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one.
It looked like as if Grambling State jumped off sides.
And we played as if it was
And
a
we
jump
played as
offside.
if we jumped off sides. But like I said, even if with the free play, because the cornerback rolled our receiver out of bounds, it would be a penalty for our receiver to when he comes back inbounds to be the first one to touch the ball.
Still a great job by Trizardo to high point that.
Great job. I mean, when you go up, you got to be the one who wants it. Those 50-50 balls, man, look, they can make or break you. Just think about who made a living off of them. Randy Moss. That's why everybody calls it "you got mossed," right? They have a whole play named after you.
So, unfortunately, the Wildcats turn it over on downs after they pick up a flag for offsides. And I'm still a little confused about what's going on.
I don't know. I'm very surprised because I saw the defensive line of Grambling State on the left-hand side jump before the ball was snapped. So, Bethune-Cookman has been doing a pretty good job of trying to get those free plays.
Yep. So, no, they picked up the flag. It is Grambling State first down and 10 at the 35. I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think that's going to be one of the questionable plays of today's game because that could have easily been a play that kept us alive on that offensive drive.
Well, no matter what, defense got to go back to work. Both the Grambling State 29, they go left to right in the black helmets, black jerseys, gold pants, gold numbers, red trim. Miles Crawley still in there at quarterback. Tight end moves left to right. He takes the snap, puts in the belly of the running back left, and he is going to be swarmed and dropped. From the backside, Deontay Washington brings them down.
Good job. I saw Sparrow come up at the end and set the edge, and he wasn't letting anything get outside of him, and everything had to be turned up where all his help is, and great job of the Bethune-Cookman defense swarming the runner.
Whereas in the first half, the Wildcat defense was getting beat by those stretch plays, now we're staying home.
Exactly.
And not getting beat by him. Second down and 12 after the loss of 2. 3 receivers left. Crawley. It's going to be play action screen. Far side. Caught by Robinson. He's tackled at the 30. A loss of 2 more.
Cunningham.
Oh, it's a flag comes in late.
Cunningham came and tripped him up. Let's see what this flag is about.
It's going to be on BCU, I think.
Now, Cunningham made a great play.
The back judge threw the flag.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way back there.
Well, we'll see.
So I think it's going to be on BCU, maybe for a late hit.
No,
but
I don't know if it's late hit. Coming from the back
Here
judge.
comes the official. We're still waiting for the official.
Still waiting for the call. Hold on.
They picked up the flag.
They picked up the flag.
So now we're picking up flags all over the place. It says it's pick up sticks, guys. This is football.
Forgive us for the quiet because we're waiting for the referee to speak.
Third down and 14 for Grambling from their own 30. Got to get to the 45 for a first down. Wildcats show pressure. Both linebackers up near the line. Crawley moving backwards, bubble screen, far side, caught 35-40 and close. Oh, it's very close.
It looks like he may have the first down.
Steven Sparrow brought down the receiver who caught the screen. That was Keeleon Elder, excuse me. And they've got it by maybe an inch. Ugh, that's tough on 3rd and 14. Grambling moves quickly. Crawley keeps. He's dragged down back at the 40 for a sack.
Great play.
Laquan Johnson Jr. with his first sack of the season.
Great play. Stayed home. The Grambling State tried a little play action where the quarterback was rolling out. Our DN stayed there, waited for him, came right into his arms, and just took him down. Great defensive play.
Loss of 4 back to the 30. Second down and 14. Bunch formation of receivers tight to the line on the right, single left. 2:20 to go. Crawley screen far side. Robinson makes a man miss at the 40, and he's going to be run out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So they give him back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10.
Uh-oh, we got a Bethune-Cookman player on the Grambling sideline.
It's
Nick Rawls.
Yeah, that's Rawls. Just the freshman has been moved slowly up the depth chart this season from bench to backup, and now he's just starting free safety.
And you know what's funny? Me and his father play football together on the same team.
That's a great little nugget. Rawls, a second-generation BCU Wildcat football player.
Yeah, I remember.
3rd down and 10 from the 43-yard line. 1:50 to go in the 3rd. Crawley takes the snap, pressure in his face. He slips and falls and is sacked all the way back at the 29. Conroy Cunningham. The defensive line in this 3rd quarter, they are having their way with the Grambling State O-line.
We said it before at the beginning of the game, disrupt their passing game and get to the QB. And that is what Bethune-Cookman has been doing the second half.
And, you know, Grambling State's tried to adjust. They've gone to screens. They've gone to quick passes into the flat to try and get the ball out there quickly because they know the offensive line can't hold.
Yeah. So right now, Bethune-Cookman also has to be aware of those adjustments that Grambling has been making.
Here we go. Jimmy Isles back to punt.
They're setting up for a return.
It is Dakari Allen Johnson. The ball goes out of bounds. That's not a great punt. Bethune-Cookman will get the ball near the 40-yard line depending on where they spot it. They'll spot it at the 36. That's not a great spot, but it'd be BCU ball at the 36-yard line. And we have gotten into this sort of status quo here in the second half, Johnny, where neither offense has really been able to move the ball. The Wildcats, because we can't complete passes. The Tigers is because they can't make passes because the defensive line for the Wildcats is in the backfield.
Yeah, the thing about it is if we continue having stalemates like this, we lose. We need to continue to stop Grambling offensively, but be able to move the ball while we're on offense.
1st down and 10 for BCU. 1:04 to go 3rd quarter at their own 36. Going right to left. Bethea hands off Bivens up the middle, bounces off a tackler, stays on his feet, falls forward 41, gain of 5.
Those little run after contacts, they add up. So Bivens is doing a great job being able to keep his feet.
Jaden Bivens is running so hard today. I mean, there's another Tiger down on the field in the huddle. And it's another cramp.
Another cramp.
And I think it's the same guy. I think it's Carter again.
Hydration. Like at this point in time, if I'm Coach Jackson, I'm telling all of my players to drink something, to get fluids, because right now this one prolongs the game. It could even disrupt momentum if you have momentum, and then you don't want anybody to get seriously injured when it comes to them cramping up on the field.
Listen,
so it's
we both played sports. You played football. I played soccer and baseball. Obviously, you played at the college level. I only never went past high school. But the hydration is so important, and especially we both played in Daytona Beach, Florida, where it's hot and humid all the time, and you got to keep that hydration up. And we're seeing it bite Grambling State a little bit here in the second half.
And see, the thing about it is one, you have to understand. What's up?
Hold on, that is Sundiata Anderson limping off the field, the All-Conference Player of the Year. Ooh. So he immediately goes for that bottle of Gatorade.
Hey, yeah, let him take a break for the rest of the game.
Well, we're going to see Michael Garner, his backup, in at defensive end. And maybe that's something for the Wildcats can exploit.
Yeah, right now this is a great time to be able to pull something out of your hat and really keep Grambling on their toes.
Clock running, 33 seconds to go 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 5 for Bethune-Cookman from their own 41. 2 receivers right, single left, tight end left. That's Khalil Overton in the game. Bethea takes the snap. 5-man rush. He's got time. Throws deep over the middle.
Deep.
He's got a man behind the defense. It is just over the head
of Trezado.
Oh,
man. I don't know when the last time that I've seen the Wildcats go deep like that. I mean, Trezzato had his man beat by at least 3 to 5 yards.
If that's in the breadbasket, it's a touchdown.
Man, look, but it was a great ball. It was just overthrown. The protection was there. Everything you wanted for that play was there, except the completion.
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Now the Wildcats got to reset. 3rd down and 5 at the 41. Got to keep this drive going.
Now you don't need to go deep here. You just need to pick up the first now and then go back into your bag and pull some magic out of your hat.
3 receivers plus the tight end to the right, single left in one-on-one coverage at the numbers.
Here
Bethea.
There
Quarterback
it is.
draw.
Quarterback
He escapes. He gets to the 45 to the 50.
Down.
First down BCU as he
That's
scampers
it.
out of bounds on the near side at the 48-yard line of Grambling State. First down BCU.
There you
That's
go.
a great design quarterback draw.
There you go. Now you don't have to go for the gusto. You need 5 yards, pick up the 5 yards, get yourself a new set of downs, come back, reload, and go for it again.
And I think we're going to have a stoppage of clock and a timeout here. No, that's the end of the 3rd quarter. So we're going to have to take a break. But when we come back, I want to talk about a wrinkle that the Wildcats have thrown in this game that we have not really seen for the last couple of weeks. We'll be back at the start of the 4th quarter. Wildcats down by 7. This is BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Well, here we go again, folks. It's the 4th quarter of a SWAC conference game, and it's a one-score game. The Grambling State Tigers lead the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 21-14 as the game is crossing over the 3-hour mark here as we start the 4th quarter. We've been in for a marathon here, Johnny.
Man, look, thanks to the first quarter, because the first quarter we were there for an hour. So, but a lot of the great moments of the game happened in the first quarter, right? But it just took so long. Like the 3rd quarter, I didn't even know that we were done. I was like, wow, that was pretty fast.
Because it was like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, maybe one first down. The defenses have come to play in this 3rd quarter.
Oh, man, have they. They have their ears pinned back and are giving both quarterbacks all types of problems. And I think right now the one quarterback who's able to figure out what the defense is going to be bringing is going to be the one that helps their team win.
Here we go. Wildcats on the ball. 1st and 10 in Grambling State territory, just across the 50 on that G logo in the middle at the 48-yard line. Wildcats in the all gold helmets, gold jerseys, white pants, maroon and white trim. Black helmets, black jerseys, gold pants, red trim for Grambling. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Bethea takes a low snap, hands off, running right. That's Bivens.
There he goes.
Bivens got back to the line of scrimmage.
Sundiata with the tackle. He came off that corner hot.
Yeah, and Sundiata Anderson went out for a cramp late in the 3rd quarter, got a chance to recover, and now he's back.
But he's still limping a little bit, which means that cramp is still kind of like bothering him.
It'll still be Jaden Bivens in at running back, 2nd and 10. Bethea takes the snap, handoff Bivens left side, has a little bit of a crease, but only gets 1 yard.
Bethune-Cookman is running dead into the teeth of the defense, and they're making a little bit happen right now, but not as much as you would like. I think the offensive line, this is the time where you need to show who you are as an offensive lineman. You don't never want a defensive lineman to come and just whoop you, is what they would say.
They gave BCU no yards, 3rd and 10. Josh Darling made the last tackle for
There it
Grambling.
goes.
Free play,
Free play.
offsides. Bethea looking, throwing deep, caught, and inbounds. What a catch! Tink Boyd dragged the feet, first down at the 37. He almost had a spectacular catch last week where his foot barely didn't touch the ground. This time he got it down.
In the college game, you only need 1 foot, but more and more, you're starting to see all these young athletes try to get 2 feet in to show that I'm NFL ready.
Tink Boyd, mucho espectacularo on the catch.
Great catch.
First down, Bethune-Cookman. We're going to get a replay in our monitor here. And again, good job by the offensive line, giving him time on the broken play. He's in 1-2. That's an NFL
catch right there.
1st and 10, Bethune-Cookman at the 37 of Grambling State.
Toe tap swag.
3 receivers in bunch formation out to the left. That's the short side. Single receiver is Terzado, 1-on-1 on the near side. Bethea looks for the screen, now goes deep. He had Tink Boyd and way overthrew him.
He had Tink Boyd, overthrew him because it was behind him, but it was too far for him to get. Man, that would have been a great play.
We have seen the Wildcat receivers have some luck against the secondary here in this 3rd quarter, but they just ain't putting it on the mark yet.
Exactly, because one of the things that's happening right now is that they are the Grambling corners and Grambling secondary, they're playing off of our receivers. Our receivers are a threat to them with their speed. 2nd
down and 10, 3 receivers to aim at. Ball left hash. Bethea claps his hands, takes the snap, 4-man rush. He throws the ball deep down the left-hand side. It is too far for the receiver to handle. That's Corey Turner all the way down there. And it's 3rd and 10. Wildcats are going for a home run ball. They've tried that downfield shot a couple of times now.
Look, I do not mind it. In this offense, the home run ball is what made this offense with Bethune-Cookman famous. And so to be able to see them doing that and take those risks is like, it makes me happy because our mind is in the right place.
But now it's 3rd and 10, and you're not quite in field goal range. Ball only at the 36-yard line.
Only need 10 yards, and then you know if you're short, you're more than likely Coach Woody will be going for it.
3 receivers right, single left. They're trying to draw Grambling State off sides with the hard count, but Bethea now changes the play at the line. He takes the snap. Here's the 5-man rush. Tyleek steps up, and he goes down back at the 42. Oh, the ball came out, and Grambling State picked it up.
Are they calling it? He's saying no. Side judge saying he was down. He was saying that he was down.
Bethune-Cookman survives a scare, but they are going backwards to the 42-yard line, and now I think you have to punt this ball, and they will.
You have to punt the ball. But once again, what did we see? We saw Bethea at the last second try to get up into the pocket. If he would have done it, 1 or 2 seconds earlier,
he has a chance
to escape, and it's just taking too long. This is sometimes where being patient works against you instead of working in your favor.
New returner. This is the wide receiver Javen Robinson down there for Grambling State. He stands at the 5. Anthony Frederick punting for Bethune-Cookman near the 50. He gets the kick away. It's a backspin kick, arcing at the 5-yard line, taken there by Robinson, trying to get to the left-hand side. Defender slips, and he's gone.
Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back.
Multiple flags behind the play.
Blocking the back. He's coming back.
Javon Robinson gets all the way inside the BCU 40, but multiple flags do stand behind the play. But again, that's a BCU player slipping at the point of attack.
No, so he was able to come across the edge, but it seemed like one of the players slowed down. I don't know if he thought that he called like a fair catch, and there have been so many people calling fair catches today. It's like he slowed down, and then when he realized, no, he did it, that's when he slipped. And then when he got around the corner right here, we had the block in the back.
Well, you got to be careful, right? Because if you don't slow down and he does call fair catch, that's a 15-yard penalty.
Exactly, but at the same time, that's why you have to.
Block in the back. I think the referee's mic is broken because he hasn't turned it on all second half. But it is a block in the back that will bring the spot of the ball inside the 20. They're still marking it off 15, still marking it off 10. 9-yard line for a 1st and 10 for Grambling State. So that's a costly penalty.
Very much
That's
so.
a 60-yard penalty.
Very much so. So you have when typically this is the rule. When someone is behind the play, don't touch him. That player, he was behind the play. There was no need for him to be blocked.
They'll officially spot the ball at the 10-yard line. 12:54 in the game. GSU up 21-14 over Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats have been good on defense in this second half. Let's see if that trend continues.
No, we got a timeout on the field.
We will take a timeout on the field and up here in the booth. We'll let our advertisers identify themselves. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. We are back live at Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium. Michael Torello, Johnny Vickers on the call. 12:54 to go in the fourth quarter. Grambling State leads Bethune-Cookman 21-14. It will be Grambling ball, but a penalty negates a big return, sets the ball up at the 10-yard line. Miles Crawley still in there as the quarterback. Chance Williams, the running back. He had the big 61-yard touchdown scamper early on in the game. Williams shifts right to left. He takes the handoff. He cuts it back through the middle. Evades Jabari Jowden. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Threw a bunch of arm tackles near the 30-yard line. That's a 28-yard run on first down for Chance Williams.
Very simple play by the Grambling State Tigers. Zone blocking, just read, and wherever you see the hole, that's where you hit it and go.
They spot the ball at the 28, 1st and 10 for Grambling. They like to go fast with the Alabama State transfer Miles Crawley at quarterback. One receiver each side who takes the snap.
Pass.
Play action. Crawley going deep, caught at the 40-yard line on a curl. Flag flies down as Lyndon Rash is pushed out of bounds by Omari Hill Robinson.
Great play. Just take what the defense gives you, but there's a penalty on the field. Let's see what this is.
It is a first down pending the flag. The flag was thrown by the back judge.
Blocking the back.
Second straight block in the back penalty on Grambling State on this drive. That'll back them up. And that'll back them up all the way to the 15-yard line. That's a big penalty.
That's a big penalty.
Because it's 15 yards from the spot of the foul, and it must have been one of the offensive linemen way in the backfield.
Like I said, if you are behind the play, there is no need to try to block anybody.
First down, they haven't updated the scoreboard yet, but it looks like first down and 21.
Looks about that. I'm looking through three panes of glass.
Yeah,
So everything.
first down and 21 at the 14-yard line for Grambling State. Handoff Williams trying to stretch the play to the right. He does bounce it outside. He's going to be cut down past the 20 to the 24-yard line. About a 12-yard run there.
You know, with these little slippery backs, you have to wrap up. You have to wrap up. You can't just put an arm on them, a shoulder pad on them. They will bounce off.
It is 2nd and 15 after 1st and 21. Now Grambling's going to start killing clock. 11:37 to go in the ball game.
Look, there ain't no need to rush, right, at this point for Grambling State.
Crawley with Williams on his left hip. Waits a long time. Play clock at 5. He takes the snap. Handoff Crawley. Nowhere to go.
Great defense.
That time they read the inside
defense.
trap, and there was nothing doing for Crawley. DeBula made the tackle 3rd and long.
It's called gap control. Make sure you control and maintain that gap and don't get driven back, and that's what the defense did.
De'Aris Thomas also in there on the stop. Been kind of a quiet day for the Wildcats leading tackler.
That's okay because we've been having a great showing by a lot of his teammates, so that makes up for it.
3rd down and about 15 yards to go. Got to get near the 40 for a 1st down. They're at the 23. 3 receivers left, single right. Now Williams comes in motion, making it 2-by-2 plus the tight end right. Crawley takes the snap. Extra pressure off the edge. Crawley goes deep into triple coverage. Overthrown, incomplete, no flags, 4th down. Great defensive coverage. Crawley saw the man downfield, and immediately he was triple covered.
Exactly. So what happened was Bethune-Cookman up top was playing press man. The rest of our DBs were in zone, so they were able to rotate over to the deep ball and were able to prevent a big play.
Jimmy Isles back at his own 10-yard line to punt. So in the first half, it was Grambling State winning all the field position battles. In the second half, it's BCU.
Yeah, but we need the field position like Grambling had in the first half.
Isles gets the punt away. It's a spiraling kick. It drives Dakari Allen Johnson back past the 20. He hangs on to the ball, but all the way back at the 15-yard line. That is a complete field flip. 75 yards that punt went. That's incredible.
This is where we talk about awareness, right? Knowing where you are on the field. Dakari needed to jump on that ball a lot faster than what he did because of how that defender was closing in on him. Great job by the defender, but when Dakari did recover the ball, to be able to be there to make the tackle so he wouldn't get a big play. However, we have to know where we are on the field, and we can't just let the ball bounce like that.
That can be a big change in momentum. It's all about how the Wildcats respond. Let's take you around the SWAC. We got to the scores at halftime. Let's update you on some of those numbers. Here it's 21-14. With 10:15 to go in the game. In Pine Bluff, it's all Jackson State over the hosting Golden Lions, 40-14. They've just started the 4th quarter in Pine Bluff. Alabama A&M 14, Alabama State 24. That's a game for second place in the SWAC Eastern Division between the 2 Alabama rivals in the Magic City Classic. And Alabama State, every time I see one of these SWAC teams in tough games, I think, man, we were one play away from beating them. We were one turnover of beating them. We were just shy of beating them. And maybe that's just, yes, it's wishful thinking, but maybe it's just a positive momentum for the future. And maybe next year we'll look back and say, oh, we beat them. Oh, we beat them. Oh, we beat them.
Yeah, so one of the things you have to look at about this year, especially with all the things that happened this year, at the beginning of this year, during the preseason, the recruiting, the time for recruiting and everything, is how this team was put together, and that a masterful job, I think, how Coach Woody has been able to get this team together, because even though our record does not reflect the team that we have, right? We have, even in our losses have been almost just by like 1 or 2 scores. Mm-hmm. And I mean, when you look at that in its entirety, like, we're literally, like you just said, one play away from getting a win. Like, we're one play away at Alabama State after we make that interception, being able to get into that end zone in our red zone, right? Mm-hmm. So
Texas Southern with that fumble,
Texas
right?
Southern.
Take away the fumble, we win the game.
We win the game. So we are literally Bethune-Cookman, even at this present day, is a team that is knocking on the door to success in the SWAC. So I'm letting you know, I'm putting it out there, SWAC teams, you better be looking out. You better not sleep on Bethune-Cookman because they will have something for you. And right now we're hoping that they have something for Grambling State today to get this win.
Well, we talked about that in baseball when we were up at the SWAC baseball tournament in the spring, and Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M kind of made the SWAC kind of angry by both making the finals. And from talking to some baseball coaches and some other SWAC people there, they said, well, we had our grace period. Now it's over because FAMU and BCU have arrived in baseball, and we see it in volleyball already.
We see
it in softball. And look out, SWAC, because football's coming the next couple of years.
Look, let me tell you something. Especially when you speak about, like, say, baseball and softball, they have had such a winning tradition, even as they were in the MEAC. But just a winning tradition under all the baseball coaches, everyone from Mervell Melendez all the way up now to John Hernandez. And then, of course, now we have back at our helm after she went to Maryland for a few years, Laura Watton. And I mean, come on now. You had to know something was up when Bethune-Cookman came into the SWAC, especially in all these other sports, because we were competitive and we were champions in another conference. That wasn't just going to stop when you switch conferences. Mm-hmm. We came in ready to play.
And of course, what happened with COVID, right, kind of killed a lot of the momentum of the athletic program. They shut down for an entire calendar year, didn't play any sports, lost a lot of coaches, lost a lot of players. So basically, the entire athletic program is in year 2.5 of a complete rebuild.
Exactly.
And we're already competing for championships.
And we're already competing. And hopefully this game and the completion of this game will turn this thing around.
All right, here we go. Wildcats back on offense. The scoreboard is off. I have no idea how much time is left in the game. It's around 10 minutes.
Oh, man. The scoreboard is completely black.
First and 10 at the 15-yard line for Bethune-Cookman going left to right. Bethea takes the snap, looks to pass, has time, throws deep down the middle, got hit as he threw, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at the 40-yard line by Trent Henry. Bethea got crushed as he let go of the ball, and that's how both of the interceptions have happened for Bethea today. Got hit as he threw, and the ball was underthrown.
Bethea was stepping up just a little bit into the pocket, and as he was releasing the ball, as the defender was going down, the defender grabbed on to his ankle and threw his balance off, and that's why the ball was so short.
And they had they had the safety beat.
They had the safety beat.
If that throw is over the top, that might be a touchdown, but it was just underthrown.
Terzado comes back, makes a great defensive play off the interception to make sure that there was no extra yardage gain by the DB.
Well, that's the second interception and third turnover for Bethune-Cookman in this ball game, and that gives Grambling State the ball at their own 40-yard line. And Hugh Jackson's going to call timeout, it looks like.
Mad because there's too many. Wait, no
1, 2, 3,
timeout.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There was 12 men in the formation.
There were. So he was mad about that because he had too many men out there. It looks like we're coming back for another blitz.
10 on the play clock. Snap. Screen left side. Ooh. It's going to be a double pass, but it's blown up. Oh, but the receiver escaped. It's a double pass. It is incomplete. All right, let's calm down and break that down. It was a screen right side to Lyndon Rash. Rash looked to want to double pass it, but Amari Jones was in his lap, and he couldn't get the pass away.
But
he shook Jones, then threw it, and it was incomplete.
It was incomplete. But Nick Rawls, number 23, was in great position of that. He stayed with his man. He did not bite on what looked to be a possible run. So it was still covered by the Wildcats. Nick Rawls, great job.
Second down and 10 from the 40. This time it's just a straight-up handoff. Left-hand side, big hole. Nice hole on escaping tackles. Chance Williams, almost a first down at the 31. 9-yard gain on second down. And when they've gotten that run going, man, that's when they've really hurt us.
Here comes the offensive line for Grambling. They're trying to end the game here. They understand where they are, their field position, and what they're trying to do. So Wildcats, this is the Wildcats again, need another takeaway.
Williams, 13 carries, 134 yards on the game.
Putting in work. The young sir is putting in
Third
work.
and 1 from the 31. Crawley in the gun. Williams on his right hip. 2 receivers left.
I wouldn't be surprised if
It's a run.
Yep.
And bouncing it to the left-hand side is Floyd Chalk. He's got room 20. Makes a man miss 10. Dragged down towards the goal line. He stretches out. Touchdown. Floyd Chalk on 4th and 1 gets a 31-yard touchdown, and that might ice the game.
That might ice the game. Man, look, Floyd, he went off to the right side in the C gap and then brought it all the way back across field. And at that point, our defense was out of position. Nick Rawls tried to make a play on him, had his ankle about the 4-yard line, but Chalk was able to use his own momentum and stretch to get into the end zone and have that ball cross the line.
7th rushing touchdown of the season for Floyd Chalk, the sophomore from Mission Hills, California. I'll tell you what, this Grambling State team comes from all over. California, Colorado, Georgia, Florida. Javon Robinson, who's caught the ball a couple of times, is a Florida City, Miami prospect out of Homestead High School.
What's going on? I think they're going to go review the play.
To see if he was down.
To see if he was down.
Well, he's either in the end zone or down at the 1-yard line.
Let me see, look, let's see what we got.
So he put his hand on the ground and not his knee, so that's a touchdown.
That looked like it's going to be – that call is going to be upheld as a touchdown.
That's a great athletic play, though. It looked like a gymnast putting his hand down there.
Because he's going – listen, folks, let me see how we can do it. He's going down. You have Nick Rawls grabbing onto his ankle at the 5-yard –
Oh, he might be down.
Grabbing onto his ankle at the 5-yard line, and he's going down, puts his hand down to keep himself up, to then stretch across the goal line for that possible touchdown. So we'll have to see how the review box looks at it to see if they say that his knee was down before that ball crossed the pylon.
While we are under review, let's run you through the rest of the SWAC scores we didn't get to on the last time out. Jackson State 40-14 over Pine Bluff. BCU trails Grambling State potentially 28-14 here in this one. 24-21 Alabama State on top of Alabama A&M. That game just started the 4th quarter. It's halftime in Tallahassee, Florida A&M 21-7 over Prairie View. It is this the start of the 2nd quarter in Baton Rouge. Texas Southern has taken a 10-7 lead over the Southern Jaguars. I'm saying Jaguars. Fans, not Jaguars. I got a lot of flack for that this week. And then earlier on today, Alcorn State, the leader in the SWAC West, takes care of business against Mississippi Valley 24-3. That same Mississippi Valley team will be in Daytona Beach on Thursday.
Coming off their bye week.
It is a touchdown. The call is upheld, as we thought it would be.
Yes,
and
sir.
Grambling takes a 28-14 lead pending the extra point. But this is another game, Johnny, where the defense keeps us in it, but they can't hold forever, and the offense turns the ball over one too many times. I don't know how many times we can write the same story this season.
I mean, I don't know how many times we can, but we have. The same story week in, week out. The defense needs to, just be proud of themselves and understand the standard that they have set going forward for this team.
Tanner Rinker, who's missed 2 field goals, gets that one. It was close.
Almost blocked.
It was close.
I think, wasn't that, who was that? I think that was
LaFontaine.
Man, didn't he block one for Southern? Didn't he block
the
field goal at Southern last week?
I know who you're talking about, and I'm looking to see who it was. It might have been Laquan Johnson. I don't have it written down here. The only person I have with a field goal block on the defense is Omari Hill Robinson, so I think it might have been him. But anyway, that was last week. This is this week, and this week it's 28-14 with 10:15 to go in the ball game. The scoreboard has finally come back on. But this is an exact mirror image of last week against Southern. We keep it close, but the opponent is able to pull away because we're not putting enough pressure on with our offense to force their defense to make plays and to force their offense into playing from behind.
Yeah, the offense the offense hasn't been able to pick up that momentum, right? When we really, really needed it, when we were actually able to get on our side of the field, we weren't able to be able to march down the field. We, like you said, there's that force field between the 40, our 40, and their 40, and we haven't been able to cross that too many times today.
The only time we have was during that broken play that was taken in for a touchdown.
Yes.
And we have not run a play from inside the Grambling 30-yard line today.
Which as an offensive player can be very frustrating, especially when you're competitive, right, and you want to establish things. Like, I can only imagine the frustration, say, that Jimmy Robinson might be feeling right now, because he's a great back, right? However, they just haven't been able to get anything going. The offensive line, like I said, this thing is going to start and end up front. Whoever is able to establish that line of scrimmage, and I said it multiple times in the first half, especially in the first quarter, that's going to be the team who wins the game. And right now, that team has been Grambling State.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we look at how much pressure in the pass rush BCU has been able to get today, but still the run blocking has not, the run defense rather, has not been there when they needed it.
Look, they showed up, and then they didn't. They showed up, and then they didn't. Just a lot of times, there's certain times when they bounced it outside, and our defensive end got hooked and allowed them to get outside, and their help wasn't able to get there. When you do those type of things, we have to continue to say and reiterate assignment football. Do your job, but know where everyone else is. And then if those things happen, you will be successful on the football field. That is not theory. That is not hyperbole. That is an actual fact. Do your job, know where everyone else is, and everything else will work out. You just have to still remain and have fight. We still have 9 minutes left in the game, and trust me, stranger things have happened in 9 minutes. I've seen strange things happen in 2 minutes. So
Grambling State scored on that last drive in 3 plays covering 43 yards in 49 seconds, ending with a 43-yard touchdown run for Floyd Chalk. Tanner Rinker gets set to kick this ball off right to left. Darnell Dees back there to return it. Jakari Allen Johnson, I believe, also back there.
I hope we're able to get some good blocking to get a decent return here.
Rinker puts his right foot through it. It's a good kick. It's going to be fielded in the middle of the field by Darnell Dees at the 2-yard line. He's going to bring it up to the 10, cut down to the 12-yard line. The block wasn't there. And Sundiata Anderson. Man. Oh, correction. That's
Chalk.
No, it's Marquise Britton.
Marquise.
That's the one thing annoying about football is you can have players wearing the same numbers. Marquise Britton made a big play to keep the Wildcats hemmed in their deep in their own territory. They'll start at their own 12-yard line. So let's say we're now 100% practicing for next week. What do you want to see us throw in here in the last 10 minutes? We're 9 minutes and 3 seconds.
Man, we can just open up the playbook. We got time for screens, both to the receiver, like slip screens to the receiver, screens to the running back. We have chances to go deep. Now, because what's going to happen is that on the front side, you'll probably go man. Backside, you'll go zone. And so if we can just sit and give with the deep, like he's rolling again.
1st and 10, Bivens left side, tackle no gain.
So that's what Cedric Anderson, their corner that is up top. Every time right before the snap, he is rolling to the middle and fading to the middle of the field in a deep zone. So we have to be able to exploit those things and get what the defense gives us.
4 receivers left. It's going to be a draw up the middle to Bivens, running into a crowd, getting 3 up to the 16, and it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Great hard running. He continues to run hard. However, right now it's not gaining really any type of traction that we need to make to get this team downfield.
3rd and 8 now for Bethune-Cookman from their own 16, and there's been way too many of these 3rd and long in this ball game. 4 down linemen for Grambling State. They only rush the 4. Bethea time to throw.
He's
He
going.
does. Launch it deep.
There it is.
Ellington's there.
Oh!
And a great defensive play
Great
by
defensive
Ryan,
play.
or excuse me, Chris Digry, the free safety, came up and swatted it down.
Great. We thought Davino Ellington was going to have a great wide open pass, and he comes in last minute and knocks the ball away from him to stop a very big play. Great play, great protection. He was able to step into his throw, get it downfield, but the DB just made a great play getting his hand in there and knocking the ball away.
I'd probably say that's the best pass Bethea has thrown today. It was right on the money,
in stride,
40 yards downfield, just a fantastic defensive play to prevent the catch.
In stride, and that's what you want to see from your DB.
There was only 10 on the field for Grambling. They had to run man on late, but it's still a punt away from Frederic.
There
and a
we
great
go.
tackle. No
Sparrow.
fair catch signaled by the returner, Robinson, and Sparrow caught him immediately back at the 35.
Sparrow is a true he's a player's player. He's a true headhunter. He wants to go out there and cause as much disruption as possible. And I tell you, when he gets out there and does it, man, he's going to let you know about it.
That was a good job by Robinson and not to hang on to the ball, man. He got rocked.
Yeah, those that's difficult.
And he's coming out to play offense, too. He's standing right there on the numbers, right on the 40-yard line near side. 1st and 10 for Grambling State, up 28-14, 7:44 to go. I think they're just going to run the ball.
Yeah, no need to risk throwing in and getting a turnover.
Under 8 minutes to go, 7:44. Handoff right side. Williams can't get through the hole. And it's only a 2-yard gain. The pile's still being pushed and prodded, but it will be a 2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8.
This is where if you're Bethune, you're going to try to be swiping at that ball. You're going to be trying to knock it out. You're going to be trying to punch at it. Anything you can do to give your offense another chance to be able to drive down and get a score. So anything that you can do to do it right now, it needs to be done. And I know the defense, they just probably want to take it into their own hands and try to get another defensive score.
Well, the 2 touchdowns that the Wildcats have today both been on fumbles. One an offensive fumble, one a defensive fumble.
Well, that ball needs to get on the ground this play right here.
2nd and 8. Handoff.
There it is.
Again, delayed,
Good
and
stop.
nothing doing for Chalk as he's tackled by Clement.
Clement.
That's a cornerback in the backfield making the TFL.
Look, when the TFL happens, you don't care who makes it as long as the play is made. It's like, if you're going to do it and do it at high speed. Don't come in there halving it. You need to go full speed in there, and that's exactly what he did.
Loss of 1, 3rd and 9 from the 42. Got to get to the 49 of BCU for a first down, does Grambling State. 6:25 to go in the contest. Grambling State with a 14-point lead. They're just going to milk every second of this clock.
They're not going to snap the ball until about 3 to 5 seconds left on the game clock.
They do snap the ball. Crawley looking to throw. He's looking for the knockout blow. Caught at the 50, first down, Grambling State 49-48. And the 47-yard line is where he'll finally be tackled. That's a big one on 3rd and 9. And the Tigers move the chains. Lyndon Rash, he's been the top receiver today. We've quieted down their top receiver, Antonio Jones. He only has 1 catch, but Rash has picked up the slack, the graduate student from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, he did. Came in, ran a nice curl route, and then just kind of faded to the inside since all the defense had dropped, since all the DBs dropped, and was able just to show the quarterback his numbers and then make a play and get some good yardage.
1st and 10 for Grambling State from the Bethune-Cookman 47-yard line. Crawley in the gun with Williams. It's going to be a handoff to Williams. Nothing doing. Eddie Walls, loss of 1 on the play.
Eddie, good job by Eddie. Getting in there, shedding his offensive player, and then getting to the running back.
He just blew by Ashanti Cole, 6'4", 300 on that offensive line. He just went right by him.
He's not little by any means. You know what I mean?
Walls not so little himself, 6'3", 246 out of Fort Myers, Florida. Just a redshirt sophomore, Walls. So He's got a bright future ahead of him at Bethune-Cookman if he chooses to stay.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about recruiting, too. You kind of have to recruit your own players every year to get them to stay.
Yeah. Recruiting is now an art form, and it has changed the game up, especially with the transfer portal.
4:30 to go with the snap. Crawley to pass.
Woo!
Nice stunt.
Nice spin.
It's a throw to the far side.
Did he get it?
Yes, he did. It's a 10-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 at the Bethune-Cookman 38.
Great spin move to try to force the quarterback to throw it a little bit faster, but Crawley was able to complete the pass.
That was Laquan Johnson who almost got there. And a nice move again by Rash to come back for the football, make the catch. On the far sideline. 3rd down and 1 for Grambling from the BCU 38.
3 minutes and 55 seconds left in this ball game.
Williams in there at running back. 2 receivers, Rash and Dickerson in there all the way to the left. That's the far side of the field. No receivers to the short side right. It's going to be Williams on a draw. Ripped down from behind. Oh, he stays on his feet, but he's finally brought down. Laquan Johnson was the first man to him, but it was finally LaFontaine and Walls that wrapped him up.
But see, that's what I've been talking about. You have to be careful just trying to wrap somebody up and then just sling them. No, you have to make sure that you can take them, wrap up, and then take them to the ground. You just can't assume that just because you sling somebody that they're going to fall to the ground.
Isles will punt now from his own 40-yard line, and this is where he has done the damage to Bethune-Cookman today. Drives have started at the 3, the 2, the 1.
Oh, man, this is not where we want to be because each time we have been in this position, he has been able to get the ball inside the 5-yard line. And here it goes.
Here we go. It's a line drive kick. Fair catch called for and made by Dakari Allen Johnson at the 3. And here we go again.
Oh, man. Dakari did a good job. He caught the ball. However, at that point in time, because there were no defenders behind him, they were running in front of him. I think that he should have let the ball bounce and to see if the ball would get into the end zone versus fair catching it. And now we're still on the 3, still inside the 5 for like the 5th time today.
Wildcats down by 2 scores, 28-14, 2:56 to go in the ball game. We'll take one final timeout and take you to the finish when we come back. This is BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. Two minutes and 56 seconds to go in the contest here at Eddie Robinson Memorial Stadium in Grambling. The Wildcats at their own 3-yard line, 1st and 10. A spot they found themselves in a fair bit today. And it is Walter Simmons at quarterback. He throws it over the middle. The pass is complete to Nabanye Moore. 9-yard gain up to the 12.
All right, so Wildcats are going to try to make their move here.
Giving Walter Simmons, the redshirt sophomore from East Carolina, a chance to work the offense. He was in for one play right at the end of the first half and got a 3-yard run.
Yeah.
Moore in motion. They're going to give to Moore on the jet sweep, and he loses 2 yards back to the 10.
That should have been. I think that should have been a pull.
But a keep, yeah.
That he should have kept that ball because of how that DN came up and fronted Moore as he was going across on the jet sweep, and then he had the whole open backside for him to probably pick up a few positive yards.
3rd down and 4 from the 10. It's going to be a quarterback draw. Walter Simmons
and
tripped
slips.
up. He slipped, and he's 2 yards short.
And he slips. Once again, the turf monster is out there getting everybody at the ankles. Come on now.
148, 4th and 1. Walter Simmons really wants to keep the offense on the field, but they will punt it away.
They're going to punt it.
Man, I feel for Walter Simmons. He had wide open space in the middle.
I'm going to tell you, this is what happens. When you try to cut off of your inside foot, that means that when you do that, you're more susceptible to fall or slip because you have no traction.
He just straight up fell.
And that's what happened.
Nobody touched him.
Nobody.
So once again, Anthony Frederic punting from his own end zone. He gets the punt away. It's Robinson. It's going to bounce to the 40, far side, picked up by Robinson.
Oh,
he makes 3 men miss at the 40, right side midfield, and he's going to go all the way. Just the kicker to beat. He's got a convoy. Touchdown, Grambling. There were 3 gold jerseys that could have stopped him at the 30.
There's a flag. There's a flag on the far side of the field.
I don't see a flag.
There's a flag on the far side of the field over there at the 45.
Oh, yeah, I see it now, but Javon Robinson did a little Houdini act. That will send the few fans that came out today to the exits.
Not even a Houdini act. He just came up and he split 2 defenders. They were in position. They did not break down. And he was able to split 2 defenders. The 3rd defender was a missed tackle, and then he was just able to take his convoy right on to the end zone.
We will check the flag. Here comes the white hat. Holding on Grambling. So another big return negated by a penalty. That's the second one that they've had in the second half. And I kind of feel for Javon Robinson because he's had 2 really big returns that have both been negated by penalties.
I mean, good for us, bad for him. I don't know. But
56 seconds left. I think Grambling's just going to kneel this one out.
But in your return game, that is something that you don't want to happen. You have to be able to run your lanes.
I just saw the replay, and it was pretty clear.
Yeah, that is something that you don't want to happen. When you have 2 players in position to make that tackle, you do not want them to get split, right? Like, you want them to break down, come together, shorten up his field where he can go, and just make sure that he doesn't get big yards. And
it's not going to be a fun film room session this week.
It is not.
For BCU.
But the thing about it is they're not going to be able to stand and stay on this film for very long because we have Mississippi Valley coming right up
on Thursday. And maybe that's a good thing. You get a quick turnaround, can put this behind you, and start working on the next one. Miles Crawley will just take a knee, and that'll be it. They'll have to take a knee one more time, but in all actuality, that will do it. The Grambling State Tigers will defeat the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 28-14. And once again, the defense kept us in it the whole way through. Offense couldn't get anything going. We've been saying it for the last 2 months.
Yeah, the offense has got to be able to put points on the board, and if you're not able to put points on the board, then even with what the stellar performance of what the defense did is going to be tough to win football games.
And again, take away the points off turnovers. We held them to 14. The defense held them to 14 without the points off turnovers.
And we said at the beginning of the game, we said we had to, for us offensively, eliminate turnovers. And we've had fumbles, we've had interceptions, and we weren't able to get as many takeaways as we gave up. So, I mean, it's every loss is tough. This is a tough loss because we were in it like basically the whole game, and we weren't able to get the ball into the end zone.
Once again, your final score as the teams meet at midfield to shake hands. The cannon goes off here at Eddie Robinson Memorial Stadium, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 14. They don't score an offensive touchdown, I think, for the first time since the Memphis game.
They scored one the first quarter. It was a fumble.
Oh, I guess the fumble.
The fumble.
I didn't count the fumble recovered by the offense for a touchdown. But
offensive fumble recovered by the offense.
It's a technicality for an offensive score, but essentially held without an offensive score for the first time since the Memphis game. And again, it's back to the drawing board on the offensive side, like it is pretty much every week. And I think if the Wildcats are going to win one, it's got to be on Thursday, because Mississippi Valley, basement of the East, Wildcats basement of the East, who knows?
Yeah, you want to take advantage of these games where that you can put yourself in position for these wins, right? They're going to be tough, especially now you're rebuilding and different things of that nature. These are going to be tough, but it's the tough games that show you who you are. It's the tough games that show you where your heart is. It's the tough games that like make you want to keep fighting, right? And that's what builds up your resilience, your endurance, and your mental capacity to keep working even in the face of adversity.
Let's get you some final stats here from Eddie Robinson Stadium. First downs, Grambling State 14, Bethune-Cookman 11. Bethune-Cookman 36 carries, 87 yards. That's 2.4 yards a carry. Second game in a row we've been held under 3 yards a carry.
Man.
Grambling State 30 carries, 176 yards. That's 5.9 yards a carry. Receptions, Bethune-Cookman 9 receptions for 81 yards. Under 100 yards passing. For the first time, I believe, since Alabama State. Grambling State 11 receptions, 142 yards. Total yards per play, Grambling State 6, Bethune-Cookman 2.71. Some individual leaders. Tackles, Iverson Clement had 9, Conroy Cunningham 4, LaFontaine also had 4. Game leader was Sundiata Anderson, 11 tackles. Lewis Matthews had 8. Noré Johnson had 5 for Grambling. Stephen Sparrow, Conroy Cunningham, and Laquan Johnson all recorded a sack. Anderson had 1.5 sacks. Josh Darling and Lewis Matthews had a sack for the Tigers. Talik Bethea, 70 passing yards. Walter Simmons, 11. Miles Crawley, 142. Tink Boyd, 3 catches for 17 yards. Jalen Terzado, 2 catches, 22 yards. Javon Robinson, 6 receptions for 73 yards to lead all wide receivers. Rushing yards, Bethea had 12, Robinson 11, Bivens 10. That's it. That's it for Bethune-Cookman. Chance Williams, 124 yards, highlighted by the 61-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Floyd Chalk had 80 plus a 31-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. Javon Robinson had 15 rushing yards on 2 jet sweeps. Once again, your final score, the Grambling State Tigers 28, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 14, here from Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium in Grambling, Louisiana. That'll do it for us here on CatEye Network Radio and 1380 WELE. For CatEye Network Director Eugene Robinson, producer and studio host Larry Steele, SID's Bryce Reinowski and Brian Harvey. Dan Ryan was our halftime interview guest. Johnny Vickers was with me in the booth here at Grambling State. My name is Michael Torello. Thank you so much for listening wherever you may be. We will see you on Thursday for more football, and tomorrow, 9 a.m. for BCU volleyball. Please tune in on the CatEye Network. Have a good evening.